what makes sense long-term. Get a more neighborly mortgage. Contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca.
It's like a locker room, minus the smell.
Ew.
Kevin Karius brings the banter, the buzz, and the bold sports talk. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Sports 1440, Edmonton's home for sports. Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Have your sports curiosity cured.
And Lacombe will just lift it back to center. Glove down by Bouchard, knocked away. Pryor gets it over to Leo. Scores!
A veteran of the sports reporting game for over 25 years.
St. Paul, Minnesota, Game 6. Zuccarello to the point. Faber. Hughes. When Hughes initiates the play. 9:22 left in regulation. Hughes makes it 3-2. Minnesota.
Breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams.
Thundering down the right side of the shot clock. Goes down juicy rebound and shoveled home. The Oilers get a gift. Dostal couldn't handle a soft shot toward the net. And it was Connor Murphy who went down low and shoveled it home to bring Edmonton within 2-1.
This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, here we go for Saul 657, Friday, May the 1st. The weekend is here, so let's tear up the old pea-pouch clicker into Schnell and make a fast break to the 11 o'clock hour. It is Feel-Good Friday, but it doesn't really feel like it's Feel-Good Friday, does it, with the Oilers being eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's also Playlist Friday. If you want a song, get it in. We'll get it on 833-401-1440. As you can imagine, our text line's humming already. So if you want to discuss last night's Oilers game, send us a note, give us a call, whatever you like. You know what? Good morning. Welcome to the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440 on your AM radio dial on your morning drive into work. You can also watch us on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM. Drop us a like, a subscription. We would appreciate that. We're streaming on the many services. And again, it turns into the many podcasts after the show is done. Oilers eliminated last night, and in a game where you needed to see urgency and desperation from a team, you saw none of it. Full marks, though, to the Anaheim Ducks. They were relentless. They owned this series. The Oilers were switch flickers all season long. We've said it 1,000 times on this show, and when they wanted to switch that or flick that switch to last night, they were not able to do it, and the Ducks full marks again for winning this series in 6 games. Hey, we've got to shuffle up the deck here a little bit because Mark Spector's flying out quite soon here from Anaheim, but let's welcome in our Friday co-host and Monday co-host, Eddie Steele. Good morning, Eddie. We're going to get the spec here in about 2 minutes, just so you know, and because he starts boarding at 7:20, so.
Excellent.
You say you're almost relieved.
Well,
or what do you? I mean,
yeah, throwing me under the bus. Okay.
No, that's not what I mean. Hey, that's how the fans feel.
Yeah, it's been a long.
Like that.
It's been a long run the past couple of years, and then the Jays, and right, it just all kind of combined. At least for this Edmonton market, where you're cheering for the Canadian teams, cheering for the Oilers. There's a bit of fatigue. Yeah. So much like the team, I'm ready for a longer summer, probably.
There you go. Time now for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Spring is coming, and before you know it, well, spring is here. And before you do anything, stop in, see the folks at Northgate. See their brand new Autoplex. It's a massive indoor sales room. See more at northgategm.com as we welcome Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet from the airport. Good morning, Spec. Getting ready to board in what, 15 minutes or so?
So that boarding should start in about 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm sitting next to
well, thanks.
We're a couple early birds here, and let's get home, start the spring here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on before you take off. And I mean, you were in the room last night, Spec, and what difference feeling last night that you got from this team compared to, I mean, the two other series here, or the two other seasons, pardon me, in the playoffs where, they were deep runs?
Yeah, one thing I think I'd start with is wasn't a single guy in that room that was kidding themselves last night. They weren't the better team in this series. Mm-hmm. They never found their game properly all season. Everyone would agree that we spoke to last night that you can't, thinking you're going to play a regular season like Edmonton played and flip some switch after the Olympic break and be a good enough team. Like that is not the route to success. No one, I guess my point would be, I surely didn't hear anybody kidding themselves in that room last night. Mm-hmm. It can't be unfold the way it unfolded this year, not if you want to win.
Yeah, no question.
Spec, outside of the comments that really made the headlines in terms of, Connor saying that the team isn't where they were at, what else did you gather from the post-game media avails yesterday?
Well, a few things. When it piqued my interest when Knobloch said that they had a couple of fractures when he talked about injuries. So, if he's got more than one guy playing with a broken bone, that tells us something, right? That whoever those players are, one of them's like the Dickinson. Yeah. You can't compete. And one thing Knobloch also said, he said, everyone talks about how young and skilled and fast these guys are. They're also really big and strong. And if you can't push back against them, and there was a number of Oilers who, frankly, were just surviving out there health-wise, they mowed you over. And that's pretty much that happened on a lot. They won a lot of battles. They were bigger and stronger and healthier and younger and not fatigued or any of that stuff. It was, there's no question who the better team was out there.
Mark Spector at the airport, heading home to Edmonton here in about 20 minutes, coming on a bit earlier than his usual 8 o'clock slot. Kevin Karius said he's still with you here on Sports 1440. So, Spec, I mean, it's going to take a little while for this team to look and figure out where it is and where it needs to be going forward. When do you think that process starts? Is it tomorrow for these guys? Is it the next day? Management gets involved? And I mean, you know how it is around here. I mean, everyone wants sweeping changes. Everyone wants sweeping changes around here.
Yeah. Well, you can't make sweeping changes. Like, it's a cap system and you got guys signed and, there's certain things that you can't, nobody gets to just change out, 1/3 of their roster. I mean, they got a bunch of UFAs that you can, not sign and replace those players. Like Henrique was a regular player. He's done. Szymanski's probably going to take his job. That's what I would suggest. Roslovic, are you going to sign him? Who knows what they're going to do, but there's a roster spot to be filled. Go to, your cap site and you can see the guys that you can replace. Sweeping changes. I mean, I guess I'd ask you, would that include the coaching staff or some of the coaching staff?
Well, I would say, Spec, that absolutely everything is on the table. And that's from Stan Bowman to Jeff Jackson to everything, all the way down to your 20th forward. That has to be, everything has to be on the table here.
I think so. Like, I'm not firing my GM and changing that position again, personally. Stan had some real missteps, but he had a lot of really good deals. Like, I love his work at the trade deadline was excellent. Connor Murphy, there's another free agent. Dickinson, there's another free agent. Those two guys, he had a killer good deadline. Problem is when the playoffs started, Dickinson sounds like he's got a broken leg. But he also made the Jari trade, which was the worst trade made in the National Hockey League this season. And he's responsible for signing Frederick to an 8-year contract. And Frederick was in the press box wearing a suit when push came to shove here. So, all GMs have their hits and misses, but I don't think, to me anyway, starting all over again at the GM position isn't the place. I certainly would be fine-tuning some things like that penalty kill. Never figured it out all season long. What are we doing with Paul Coffey? Is he coach? He can't come back and coach a half a year. Either he's your coach or he's not your coach. So let's figure that out. But the guys who are, I would say Mark Stewart's was in charge of the penalty kill. And, that can't be an easy exit interview. The penalty kill cost them their season pretty much.
Yeah, that's the reality of it. And you talked about a couple things that really stood out to me. What is going to happen with this Paul Coffey situation? Because that was just weird how that unfolded. And we know how Coff is. He's tight with Daryl. So how is that going to unfold next season? The UFAs on this team, too. There's a significant list of UFAs. KK, would you yourself look to move on from Stan Bowman? You brought it up. It's too early and too quick, I think.
Honestly, I think everything is on the table here, and I think it has to be. If you think that he's the right guy, well, then you move forward with him. But if you don't think, don't just keep him around if you don't think he's the right guy for the job. I mean, as Spec said, he made some decent moves, but the Jari trade is going to go down as one of the worst trades at the deadline. Well, in deadline history. It's, before the deadline.
I feel you on that, but I don't think that's enough to now move on from a guy before he even had a chance to get his fingerprints on a team.
Oh, I don't know. He's got his fingerprints on all over this team, but I guess I don't know what to tell you. I just feel like changing a GM is complete and utter upheaval. You change your GM, then you tend to change your coach. You change your coach, you change your culture. You change your scouts out. When you get a new GM, he brings all his own scouts in. That's a seismic change in an organization. The Oilers just did this 2 years ago. They just did this. What do we do? You tell me what the president does, Jeff Jackson. I'm not saying they should fire Jeff Jackson because I don't think he has that much to do with what's going on the ice. It's kind of a liaison between the GM and the owner for me. So I don't care about the president. They care about that stuff in Toronto. I'm more interested in scouts and coaches and players, and people who make this team better on the ice. So listen, they've got some holes here for sure. I think talk about the positives. They with McDavid not being near himself, they scored a ton of goals in this series. This is as good a depth scoring as they've had in a long time. They have got guys like Kapanen was good. Colson was really good. They got some big. We like Colton Dach has come in and turned into a pretty nice little player. I don't know if you keep Dickinson when he's healthy. I like him a lot here. Connor Murphy and Nurse, they had a pretty good run. They're pretty good together right down the stretch. And a lot of stuff went wrong in the playoffs, but there is a risk of we know there's problems, and you can't just stay status quo. But there's also a risk of overreacting here too, boys.
Yeah. Mark Spector with us, Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele, Sports 1440. I just kind of want to circle back to the game itself last night and that urgency and desperation, which we didn't see at all, Spec. And it's almost like it's a microcosm of the entire season. They didn't draw a penalty. They didn't get their noses dirty. They didn't do anything that made you think that they were facing elimination last night. So therein lies the problem within the group.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm not saying that this has never been a group that goes out and starts a fight. This is not how they play. They never play that way. And you can expect it or ask for it, but it's just not what they've ever done. That's not in the DNA. If you want that, you're going to have to make a lot of changes around here. But for sure, Kev, they were just like their season. They were sitting around waiting for something to happen that never happened. Yeah. They're sitting around waiting for something good to happen to them. And meanwhile, they got some bad luck, but whatever. I always said, man, bad goalies get bad luck and bad teams get bad luck. And they got lots of bad luck. Like Anaheim got a ton of bounces in this series, and we all know why. Because they earned them. That's why they got a ton of bounces, right?
Yeah, they earned them.
Hey, fellas, a little bit of negative here. Finish with a positive spin on my take in question here for you, Spec. But you look at Connor, and I know he's banged up. In the series, -8, 1 goal, 5 assists. Bouchard, -7, 1 goal, 6 assists. Leon Draisaitl, -2, 3 goals, 7 assists. Your best players, and Leon, he produced, but your best players in Connor and Evan Bouchard certainly didn't play up to the standard that's required. But with that being said, that opened up the door for others to step up. And I want you fellas just to touch on Vasily Podkolzin a bit, because the way he led, just with his physicality, the way he was playing out there, skating, engaging in the muck that rare others wanted to, he really, I got a lot of respect for the way he played all year and then rose in the playoffs.
So I'll throw this out first, Spec. And again, Kapanen and Podkolzin, I mean, they were the two best players in the series for the Oilers. I think people would say that they're best forwards. But when the game last night, it's 4-2, and you're getting down with 5 minutes, around 5 minutes, those guys didn't see the ice. So what's that tell you?
I don't know. It's a good question. You know, there's definitely to me, there's always been obviously you're in great shape when you got Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, two great players, Hall of Fame players in your lap. No one's complaining about that. But it's also a strange culture to handle sometimes. And I feel like those guys have, for instance, Knobloch probably needs to tell those guys more things than asking them, if you know what I mean. I feel like they have probably an inordinate amount of influence over decisions that players shouldn't have influence over. I think everyone's beholden to Connor. He's the best player in the game. But that's an excellent point, Eddie. There does come a point where you got to be able to say, hey, these guys are really effective and they're going to play right now. And, I don't care how many times you look over your shoulder at me on the bench, right? Connor, give Connor credit. He's playing hurt, giving everything he's got. I don't blame. A lot of guys might not have played, or certainly wouldn't have played that well. But in terms of Bouchard, to my eye, was completely healthy. It just had a lousy series. He was October Bouchard in most of the games in the series.
Had the one good one, right?
Well, he plays really well in one game and they win. But listen, this team couldn't win 3 in a row all year. They never won 2 in a row in the playoffs, boys. Never won 2 games in a row. You can't win a series if you can't win 2 in a row.
And in most of those games, 5 out of 6, you score first.
Yeah, all of that for sure. You got to, they never really found the keys to the car this season. They never, right from the start, they fumbled and bumbled and won 2 in a row and never won 3. And all that means, as I've said before, is they can't put a proper week together because there's 3 or 4 games in a week. Yeah. And you get to the playoffs and you didn't put a proper week together there either, did you?
They were, as I said 1,000 times on this show, they were switch flickers all season long, Spec, and it caught up to them where they thought that they could maybe do it one more time in Game 6, and it didn't happen. Hey, Spec, thanks for coming on, big guy, early, and I hope you're not sitting beside that crying baby that was in the...
Yeah, tell that kid to shut it.
All right, boys, have a great day.
Safe travels, man. That's Mark Spector on the mark. Brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC, powered by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This truck's for you. Check them out only at northgategm.com. The one thing, too, if you go back to the beginning of the year, Chris Knobloch talked about, about the journey. You remember that little, it was during camp, and it was about enjoying the journey more, because he said when he was hired to take over from Jay Woodcroft, well, everything was moving so fast. And then you get to the Stanley Cup, right? You get to the final. And then the following year, they wanted to get back so badly. And it was almost like they forgot about the process of getting back there.
So focused.
You know what I mean?
I do.
And then this year he said, okay, well, we should enjoy this a little bit more, instead of just focusing on getting back to the Stanley Cup final. And I think as a team, they lost that. They never had it. And maybe if you ended up looking at it in straight context, that had a lot to do with how the season went. Because it was, again, they would have a spurt, then they'd have nothing. The consistency was absolutely zero.
They were consistently inconsistent.
There was nothing there. It was zip. And again, to me, Game 6 is a total microcosm of the entire season, where, all right, you go in, you think, like, even you go into the game and it's your elimination game and you do not come out of the gates. Like,
so disappointing.
I mean, you have, like, again, it's your last game.
Like, with your hair on fire, bat out of hell, hitting everything, urgency.
Absolutely. I mean, in my opinion, after the first period of game number 1, the Oilers turned into, yes, there was some physicality, but not to the level that you need. Not even close. The first period of the first game, they had it. They never had it for the rest of the series at that level.
And then, we got on the topic of Podkolzin and Kapanen, and why they didn't play in the last 5.5 minutes of the game just confuses me. And that brings up a deeper point, and we've touched on this over the years, and I'm not trying to, come out here with a hot take or be controversial, but maybe Specs onto something where there's a little bit too much empowerment from some of the leadership here. And, maybe the leadership here, although some of the best talent on ice, maybe not always just the best leaders. It doesn't, just because you're the best player doesn't mean you're the best leader.
Well, we'll take a quick break here. As we said, we shuffled up the deck here, so we'll get to some of your texts, and we'll have Sean Macko from The Athletic coming up at 8 o'clock. We'll discuss things around the NHL. We've got Broen Houston from the Deseret News, covers the Utah Mammoth. So they're up against it here, and now the Anaheim Ducks face the winner of that series, Vegas and Utah. And I think the Ducks were 5-1. Duke will have to do a fact check on that for me, but hey, let's welcome him.
Yeah, just like
Duke. I was going to take a break. Let's welcome
Duke.
Good morning, Duke.
Good morning.
I'll tell you, to be honest, he was very humble when he came into the studios this morning.
I'm a humble guy.
It's a nice hat you got on there, buddy.
Thank you. I figured I'd show a little pride for the team that I've
How long have you been waiting?
Chosen to support for most of my life.
Have you been waiting to bring that out?
This hat?
Yeah.
I wore it to the game last week.
Oh.
But it's a rarity.
And I've worn it out and about sporadically over the past year since I got it.
Things clean.
Listen, I think you guys have touched on a lot of the points around the team, this series and everything, and we'll continue to do so for, the rest of this morning and probably many more to follow as the playoffs progress into the summer. But yeah, I thought it was an entertaining series, and to be really honest, and I get it, this is easy for me to say in hindsight, I'm not a guy that likes to be overly cocky, pompous leading into things. I did not really have very much doubt that Anaheim was going to win that game last night. Obviously, we talked about it yesterday during In or Out. Kevin had my prediction. That wasn't right. The Ducks did not have to come back because they essentially controlled the game from its onset.
What a putz. Eddie can't even.
And they looked like the team that wanted it more last night. Full stop. And you talk about the lack of desperation from a team that's on the brink in Edmonton, and we know they're injured. But you heard the players talk about it. McDavid, Draisaitl. The injuries aren't an excuse. Like it's the teams are 18 skaters, right? And a goaltender, and in the Oilers' case, 2 goaltenders in this series that each started a game. So you want your best players to be your best players. They unfortunately couldn't be for most of the series because of the limitations they faced. But I think just a lot of individuals, whether it be here inside this market of Edmonton, fans and others, all the way across the national side of things, underestimated what Anaheim was capable of in this series. And do I think this is a team that can win the Stanley Cup this year? Well, they'd really need to catch lightning in a bottle because they have a lot of flaws, defense and goal suppression being the primary one. But they're a lot of fun to watch, and they're going to keep any team they play on their toes because of the youth, the speed, the size, and their ability to put the puck in the net. So I'm happy. I'm looking forward to it. I feel for Oilers fans, right? Yeah, it's sad to say you can't go to the Cup final every year, and this year it kind of felt like it all season long. We fielded plenty of texts about it, the vibe being a little bit off and whatnot. It's time for a little bit of reflection with this team and decide what direction they want to go, where they want to go as an organization moving forward.
Could you imagine, Eddie, if this coming playoff season is the 5th consecutive year that the Oilers lose to the eventual Stanley Cup champion?
Wow.
Right?
That'd be wild.
Colorado, Vegas, Florida,
yeah,
and now Anaheim.
Whew. That would be something. Now don't get Duke too happy over there.
Hey, listen, I'm
getting him hot and heavy back there, KK.
I've got the future ticket on it if they can manage to ride this all the way out. And it's actually crazy. I put my future in on the Ducks the same time I did there to win the Pacific, which they did not end up doing back. And I think it was about late October, early November. I would have got a better price betting them at the start of the playoffs. That they had worse odds when the playoffs started. They had the worst odds in the entire field. I think them and the Kings were tied. Worst odds in the entire field. Then I got the price for them to win the Stanley Cup back in November when they were sitting first place in the division. So it's a little odd, but hey, it was a good game, good for the Ducks. The environment looked rocking down at the Ponda Center. I'm excited seeing who they're going to take on next, whether it be Utah or Vegas. I'm looking forward to it.
I like that. The Ponda Center.
Oh, Dukey Duke. There you go. Text 833-401-1440. This is from Klaus from Beaumont. And to be honest with you, this is exactly what we're talking about with what Chris Knobloch said at the beginning of the year. Enjoy this journey. Enjoy what it is about to what it takes you to get to your ultimate goal. Here's Klaus's text. The successful teams almost always have fun, like Florida and Anaheim. Enthusiasm. The Oilers have always been too serious. I feel it's a major character flaw of this team. Never any smiles, whether they're winning or losing.
Yeah, I thought this earlier in the program, actually, when Spec was on. There's a lot of pressure on 97. There's a lot of pressure on him because people will say he's not a great until he wins one, which is wrong. That's a false narrative. But yeah, he wears it. It's pretty visible. He wears that.
But again, like there was no jump last night. There was nothing. No. Even when they score the 4-2 goal, Kapanen off but goals and in the crease to make it 4-2, that you have a whole period left, and there was no sense of any emotion, urgency,
the push,
desperation, zip.
You look at the Ducks when they're down, man. You can feel that they're coming.
Well,
you can feel it.
Think about it in Game 5 when they're down. And they're still coming.
Yeah.
The Oilers didn't bring it at all.
And we'll touch on this later in the show, KK. But how about the fourth line of the Ducks and the trust in their head coach to play them against the big dogs?
With 4 minutes left, the Oilers pulled the goalie. And the Ducks' fourth line was out. There you go. All right. So as mentioned, Sean Macko from The Athletic will join us at 8 bells. Broen Houston from the Deseret News at 9:20. It's Golfing with the G-Man at 10 o'clock, and we got a special guest coming in, Craig McTavish, 4-time Stanley Cup champion, one of the best, face-off men that there ever was, but also right now, one of the best actors, Eddie, from the Western RV commercials. Mac T and Kelly Buckberger, like Academy Award-winning performances. That's what we're talking about.
Get him an Oscar.
Well, you know what? When I texted Mac T to come on, he says, I'll come on only if you plug Western RV again. so
he's coming in studio.
He's just coming on the phone. He's probably going to be golfing later today, I think so.
Speaking of, we got to get to that.
Okay, we'll get to that after the break. Eddie's big round yesterday at the ranch. That's coming up. Kevin Carey, City Steel, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Divorce is never easy, but Fairway Divorce Solutions can help.
Their clear step-by-step process addressed all our issues, and we moved through the process quickly.
Fairway didn't take sides. They saved us money and heartache.
My ex, the kids, and I feel like we'll all be okay.
At Fairway Divorce Solutions, trained mediators and in-house lawyers will move your divorce process forward in a professional and efficient manner to achieve a fair resolution and separation agreement. Visit fairwaydivorce.com.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Would you like to be a part of history for the month of April? I'm kidding. Or as the kids say, bro, I'm joking. Would you like to help us set a record in April? Chill. Still kidding. At Northgate, we aren't trying to set any records or tell you how many vehicles we sell. And we really don't think you'd care. But what you will care about is this. Every dealer has the same costs. Trust me. GM does not have a favorite kid. You get to decide where you buy. 0% financing, a great selection, and of course, great people. Stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street or business online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
This jersey was worn by the legend himself, signed and everything.
You can't just wear it.
I'm framing it with expressions and images.
Your prized jersey deserves better than the closet. Think expressions and images. Your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it. If you've got a smart speaker, get it to play Sports 1440.
And it doesn't matter when you listen as we roll out the Sports Talk
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Edmonton's home for sports radio is Sports 1440.
There's nothing like a spring sunset by the lake. Oh, wait, that's a pothole. And that was a new truck.
Oh, what the?
Springtime in Edmonton also means project time with help from Metal Supermarkets. Huge inventory cut to your precise requirements, plus metal bending, drilling, punching, notching, plasma cutting, welding, even delivery. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in stock, ready to deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 7:31 in Edmonton. I guess we're clear sailing for the rest of the hour here, Duke, as far as guests go, with Spec coming on early. That was nice of him, though.
Very, very kind of Spec.
Oh, unreal. What a trooper.
And like, keep in mind, it's an hour earlier in SoCal, right?
Yeah, but he's at the airport.
Yeah, but still.
So
Kevin, when you wake up to go to an early flight, is the first thing you want to do is hop on the phone to talk about the team that you cover that just lost out of the playoffs the night before?
Absolutely.
Duke, we ain't swinging hammers here, man. He's got a coffee. He's probably got a brekkie sandwich in him.
Eddie, it's a good thing you bring that up. It's been kind of the talking point since Wednesday when Schlemmer came in with a broken rib after his incident at the Alzheimer's tournament. And then yesterday I show up with this banged up finger.
His poor little pinky finger.
It keeps stretching. It's almost the entire nail. I'm thinking it will almost certainly be falling off here.
Do you want me to kiss it better?
I would actually.
What happened with Schlemmer?
He toe picked and fell into the post at the Alzheimer's charity tournament, and broke his rib.
When Schlemmer first was telling us, all I could think about was you weren't at that. I don't think either of you were at the Critters game where I kind of toe picked and went literally straight up head first in the boards and accordion myself, and the entire arena just like stopped and held its breath because they thought I was going to need to be stretchered off.
That's hilarious.
It's like, it's so embarrassing when something like that happens. And in Schlemmer's case, I'm sure he felt that a little bit too. And the fact that he actually hurt himself and now his golf season is delayed by a month at least.
That's too bad.
You have to feel for the guy.
Yeah.
Is he going to join today?
Schlemmer?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Was he on the group chat?
He's in it, but
Eddie, I send this message at 12:30 yesterday to an existing group chat with Sean, Schlemmer, Eddie, and Kevin. And I say 12:30, Szechuan Castle tomorrow. Obviously in reference to this lunch that I owe everyone for our Masters pool. Every single person puts a reaction on it, thumbs up, like it, whatever the case. Kevin this morning, we're not even on the air yet. So when are we doing this lunch thing? Are we going today or what?
Well,
you didn't, Kevin. No. You didn't even know this morning coming in there.
I wasn't sure. I didn't. Because any group text
you
that I see,
hate
I don't
the group
even
chat,
open.
man.
Why? They're stupid. Text 833-401-1440. Northside Lou is like you, Lou and Eddie. Morning, guys. I'm personally okay with the Oilers being sent packing in the first round. I'm worn out from watching mediocre play, listening to excuses all year. I'm glad to have my evenings back and will enjoy chilling in the nice weather now.
That's another thing too, going back to some of this fatigue, just watching them, is you kind of knew deep down that this team didn't have what it takes to win it.
Elmer, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, unless they significantly turned it on, but they'd have to find a big switch to flick.
1,001 now. 833-401-1440. Text line's really humming this morning. Elmer Fudd says, love your honesty in a difficult job this morning. Well done to all three of you. The Oilers have one, maybe two bullets left in the chamber. Fate has just spun the cylinder. If the owner isn't wise enough to change his paid gunsmith, the GM, and get more bullets, the story ends with a whimper and not a bang. The best gunfighters don't always win, even if they were faster, more accurate, and braver. The Oilers need a bullet in every chamber to even the odds. Fate doesn't favor the most logical outcome.
It's pretty sick
I like
text.
the gunfighter.
That's a
stuff.
pretty sick text.
Oh, I love the gunfights, the old Wild West, Eddie.
You would probably have the slowest hands in the West.
Eddie, if you and I, well, first of all, you wouldn't be able to hit anything from whatever, 50 paces, 20 paces, whatever.
Would you
it
even
is.
be able to count 10 paces in turn? Huh?
Eddie, I would dominate you in a gunfight. And I'll tell you what, we'll use real bullets too. I don't care anymore. Ron texted, good morning, KK. From Ronnie, the paradox of the Oilers flickering out in the first round could be a blessing in disguise. Changes will occur. What changes do you think, KK? Well, we talked about that with Spec off the top, and we'll be talking about it as the morning progresses and as the weeks progress. So right now, as a team, you got to sit back and you got to look at everything here for a few days. I mean, the players will have, they fly back today. And I don't know, the exit meetings will be on the weekend. Latest would be Monday, but they'll start cleaning things out and whatever. So, but it's that knee-jerk reaction you have to be wary of. You can't make judgment calls when
the emotion,
everything's still hot, and it is hot for sure. Dr. Dick Richard, Tricky Dicky, your show needs to keep track of the analytics. Your suppressed text metrics must be through the roof, I guess, if you say so, Tricky Dicky. This was a good one we were talking about having fun, smiling. King of Fort Nasty says, I saw Hyman smile after he booted that puck in.
Yeah, that guilty smile.
Oh, it was like, I don't even know how they had to even go up for a quick...
couldn't be more obvious.
A quick reveal upstairs because, it was done.
I get it, though, man. When you're in the moment and stuff, you don't even think. You're just urgently trying to get the puck in the net.
Hammer says, until 97 doesn't cheat the game, the Oilers will never win.
There was a turnover. What goal was that on? The Troy Terry goal. Yeah, it was the Bouchard, the fourth one. Yeah, and Connor, he turned it over in the
Bouchard
deep
too,
corner.
though.
It was Bouchard for sure, but there was zero hustle to get back.
No, that's the thing. The urgency, the desperation. It was like, honestly, it was like the Ducks were facing elimination last night, and they changed the lines like halfway through the game. They got Podkolzin and Kapanen and Draisaitl back. It didn't matter. Power play was the difference for the Ducks in the series. They went 9 for 18. Have to mention too, so the Minnesota Wild eliminate Dallas last night, winning that game 5-2. Quinn Hughes had a really good game. They win the series 4-2. So it'll be Minnesota and Colorado. The Wild are the first team since the Oilers in 1985 with a +14 in 5v5 play in a series.
Wow.
So that just shows you, like, if without the Dallas power play, might have been over in 4.
Not even a series.
Might have been over in 4.
And now this upcoming series, Minnesota, Colorado, that is going to be a slobber knocker.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if Minnesota won. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
It's a big addition, Hughes. Big addition. All eyes for Canada, Montreal. Here we go.
Yeah, and that's game number 6 tonight. The Montreal Canadiens have a chance to eliminate Tampa Bay. The fun thing about this playoff and this Stanley Cup playoff is that we've got so many teams now that made the playoffs that weren't there last year. And then going to round number 2, we've got teams that haven't been there
new blood
forever or for a long, long time, like Minnesota. The Wild, it's been 9 years since they won a playoff series or whatever it is. So, it was just, I think it's just a tough night. And as you say, I got the feeling, even when the series was 3-1, where Oiler fans had resigned to the fact that, you know what? This isn't the year. And you know what's funny, Eddie, too? When you go back to when Connor McDavid signed his 2-year extension, what was the one thing that kept getting brought up? Well, this contract really, and it's a hometown discount, let's be honest, he should have been at 17 million if he
No
wanted
doubt.
minimum. Everyone was saying, well, next year's when you're going to see the additions because, the cap's going to go up. You're saving
You'll have some
4.5,
room.
5 here. You're going to have more room. I thought that was weird because they almost forgot about this year.
This whole year, someone said it, and for lack of a better term, Kevin, it was just a weird year. As you reflect back on it, the inconsistent up and down play, just a very weird year, man. It really was. They didn't have it this year. All year they didn't have the juice.
Text 833-401-1440. Like even Raw Dog Reed, the boys knew they didn't have it this year and played like it, wanted an early summer. Jeffrey, since 2022, the Oilers have been going hard. They need this break. They weren't going to take a deep run. They just got to make the right moves in the off season. Guys need a rest over summer. Jason, luck plays a huge role in any sport. Injuries got them. It happens. I don't think they need massive changes. Good roster. Young players took a big step this year. May need to change the coach, but they'll be back in the mix next year. So, if you look at it in the playoffs, Matt Savoy was a shadow of himself that we saw in the regular season. Jack Roslovic, same thing.
That's the book on Roslovic now. We saw it with our own eyes this year.
And then, when it's 3-1 in the end of the first period and Roslovic puts one off the iron, think about how that could have changed.
Yeah, man.
He puts one off the iron. You go into the first period intermission with a 1-goal deficit instead of 2. Plus, you got one of the guys that needs to get going with some confidence. And that, to me, that was another big part of how that game went yesterday.
And it would have been just really nice hands, in tight, elevated that thing high. It
He
would
did
have been
everything
good.
that he was supposed to do it.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll get to more of your texts, 833-401-1440. We'll talk Oilers for the next couple of segments, but I got to get Eddie's comments too on the CFL and
there's some news
the
there.
regular season and
Postseason, the draft for the Double E.
Is there really a regular season?
So
you're going to play 81 games, Eddie, to eliminate one team.
It's silly. It's silly. So I'm back and forth on it, Kevin. Much like the rule change or the field dimensions and stuff. Got to see how it's going to unfold. But I'll tell you this. I am in favor, and Gregor had said this point, and I've been in favor for many years, even going back to my playing days. It worked out well when we won the Grey Cup in 15, but I don't like a team having to win one game and getting to the Grey Cup. It's too easy.
Yeah, but aren't you playing hard all season long to get to that position?
Yeah, in a sense. Yeah. But I'm in for more competitive games, down the stretch into the playoffs.
But I don't think you're going to see that now. I think you'll see less of it.
I think that you will with the seeding. I think the seeding will matter. And then the playoff games, having more playoff games, that's where the intensity ratchets up.
It's follow the money again.
That's all it is.
That's
all it is. It's all it is.
Are you going to make enough money in those playoff games
Better.
where you're sacrificing 30 to 40 regular season games that don't mean squat?
You better.
Okay.
You better. Hey, we got to see it, man, because I'm
like I say, if you're in game 40 of the 81 games, I don't care what market you're in, and people are going, well, why don't I want to go to this game? It doesn't mean anything.
8 of 9 stinks.
Okay.
That stinks.
There you go.
But winning one and going to I guess I'll say this. 8 of 9 stinks more than the thought that I have of winning one game to get to the Grey Cup. It does stink more. That's 8 of 9 is, what are we doing?
Stinks.
Poo.
When we come back, more of your text, 833-401-1440. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio or streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Great news for your weekend project. CFI, that's Custom Floors Inc., is now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 till 2. Get top quality Canadian products from Beaulieu with the convenience you need. For your free estimate, visit CFI at customfloorsinc.ca.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be
dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada. Get the lowdown with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton's sports leader. Sports 1440.
Everybody loves a beautiful day in Edmonton. Hey, it's Jamie, and Green Drop Lawn Care is giving you one more reason to love the nice weather. Next Nice Day service. People always ask, how soon can Green Drop get here? Well, when you sign up with Next Nice Day service, we'll be there by tomorrow. Assuming Mother Nature cooperates, we'll be fertilizing and treating your weeds by the very next day. We'll even include Drought Fighter at no additional cost. Just another reason we have been Canada's lawn experts since 1979. Easy online signups only at greendrop.com.
Why should you drive a Subaru? How about durability, style, and an excellent customer experience from the moment you step into the showroom? And how about accolades, including awards for numerous 2026 Subaru models from both AutoTrader and JD Power? But don't just take my word for it. Take a test drive and you'll see why the Subaru name is recognized and renowned for quality. To learn more, visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Kevin Karius Show, breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams, even though his favorite Junior A hockey team is the Yorkton Terriers. Thanks for checking in with Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 747 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on Sports 1440 AM radio. Here's a number for you, Eddie. $545 million. $545 million. Do you know what that number represents?
Your pension.
Yeah, my RSPs. That's what I got locked up in there. Unfortunately, no. It would be nice. 545 million is what the economic impact of the Oilers' last 2 Stanley Cup runs was in Edmonton. 280 million and 265 million. So throw that number out at you right now. How do you think all the people that are running the bars and the hotels and the businesses right now in town are going, oh boy.
Yeah,
because they, that was a big thing for them, and it injected tons and tons of dollars into everything.
True. Our producer for Elks Nation, producer Rick, he's a manager of the Pint, and that's huge bucks.
I think I looked at it, and there was 80,000 overnight stays over the course. So and that's hotels, etc. It was a 214% jump in the downtown restaurant bar area spending during game days.
That's big coin, man.
Massive coin.
And I'm not shocked by it because when you see the Forbes list of, top 5 valuable franchises, Edmonton, little old Edmonton, the most northern based franchise in pro sports, ranks right up there in the top 5 with the Dallas Cowboys, with the biggest of the biggest.
Tim Tixon, good morning, fellas. The most telling point to me was the coaching staff elected to sit Frederick and play injured players over him. I'm not getting that one, but he disagrees with Spector. Bowman elected to not pay Perry/Brown, go elsewhere. Well, first of all, they couldn't afford those guys, Tim. They're not affording, they weren't able to afford what Perry was commanding because he had a great year at 19 goals. Same with Connor Brown. They couldn't afford to put that on the table. They had to go with guys like Savoy and Howard to start the year.
Yeah.
That's the salary cap, man.
And we all beat up on the Trent Frederick contract, which needs to still play out. But honestly, $3 million cap hit with the cap rising, it's not going to be that detrimental in the years to come.
This is a guy that has to reevaluate himself as a player and what he can contribute. This offseason, as I said, even, you know what, to be honest with you, during the Olympic break, Getty, I felt like guys like Frederick and like I mentioned him specifically had to be going full tilt.
Locked in.
If you were going to spend 6 days somewhere on a beach, And I think he was better after the break, but he didn't bring it after the first period of game one, like nothing. So you have to have a look at yourself in the mirror here and go, I got 7 more years of this. 7 more years. How can I be a better player? And what do I have to do? The guy scored 17 and 18 goals in Boston. I'm not saying to get that. I don't even care about that.
No, it's not about the goals.
He engaged every shift. If you're playing 8 minutes a night, like Doc is doing it,
be noticeable.
Everything.
Be noticeable in the time on ice.
Hammer says it's hard to get into the game playing 7 minutes. No, Hammer, it's not. I hate that. I hate that narrative, guys. Hammer. This is a point here where you were in your career. You're playing in the NHL. Figure it out. If it's 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, you think, I don't know what Duke would be able to tell. I'll bet you any money, like between VL and Washi before this series were what, 8-9 minute players, Duke? 10-minute players max?
And honestly, Kevin, it's not, you can't use that as an excuse. You're pro level, you take what you get and be your best. In football, okay, say there's 80 defensive snaps. Well, you know what? Sometimes you're in the coach's doghouse. You're not playing well. You're only going to get 15 snaps. But if those 15 snaps suck, you're going to get less next week.
Right. And if they don't suck and you are better,
you're going to get more.
That's right.
That's exactly it.
That's why I'm saying when you are a 7 minute a night guy, make them play you 8 minutes. And if you're an 8 minute a night guy, make them play you 9 and continue up and up the ladder. And then you know what's going to happen? All those guys that are on the third line and even the second line that are playing 11, 12, 13, they're going to go, whoa, 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 whoa. All of a sudden, my minutes are getting taken away. And it's upward pressure. And that's why these 7-8 minute guys are so valuable. Like, look at this Ducks fourth line. And am I right, Duke?
They average about 12 minutes in the regular. But keep in mind, they didn't play. VL was a waiver or a trade for a 7-year minor league guy. And Washi played 39 games. He's an undrafted guy signed to Western Michigan. Played 39 games, but they both averaged 12 minutes. Washi had 5 points in the regular season.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So it's like they're more. Moore's tougher to gauge because he played D sometimes, right? And so that does, I think, change the dynamic a little bit. To your point, Kevin, about the upward pressure and whatnot, like, and this maybe goes back to coaching to an extent. And I'm with you on the fact that you have to make use of the minutes you have.
Mm-hmm.
But look at what Quenneville did in this series. After game one, Cutter Gauthier was invisible.
Yeah.
Right? He elevates to the top line, has a couple good games.
Yep.
The whole team takes a step back. They reshuffle things again. They balance their lines in a way that essentially each one has a role on any given night. The only line that stayed intact all series was the second line. And it's funny because they actually didn't have that much production in terms of Killorn, Seneca, and Granlund. I think they were the worst line from a plus-minus perspective too. But like last night, we saw McTavish started on the fourth line. And then we saw the regular fourth line reunited. McTavish played with Gauthier and Paling. That's like your top goal scorers playing on your third line, your top point getter in the regular season. It's like I do think that Chris Knobloch was out-coached in this series.
Yep, Duke.
But we're talking about Joel Quenneville, who is maybe one of the best to ever do it. This isn't some sort of advocacy that I think Chris Knobloch should be fired. I think we'll talk about that more in or out. I've got a topic for it. But I do think that the Oilers, and maybe not Knobloch specific, but the team, the Oilers were outcoached by the Ducks in this series.
I have to say what's really unique about Coach Q, yes, he was pulling the right strings, and he did outcoach Coach Knobloch, but he's an older gentleman, Coach Quenneville, and the Ducks are a young team. And for Coach Quenneville to have been out of the game, I know he's been with the Ducks now a couple of years, but to come back and kind of reinvent himself with the young, because it's a different style of player nowadays, man. You have to relate to them differently. So for him to be able to do that, that's really neat to see a fella of his stature do.
Text 833-401-1440. We'll get to them as the morning progresses. Coming up at the top of the hour, Sean Macko from The Athletic covers the NHL. So we'll go around the NHL. We'll talk about the Oilers, obviously, as well. But we'll go around the NHL and look ahead to tonight's big game in Montreal between the Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Montreal needing a win to move on to round number 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by All-Star Construction. They shape and build Edmonton communities specializing in underground utilities like power, like gas and telecommunications, and street lighting. That's All-Star Construction. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oilers season coming to an end last night, falling to the Ducks in Anaheim 5-2 and losing the first-round matchup in 6 games. Troy Terry, 3 points in the victory. On route to the Ducks. They await the winner of Vegas and Utah. Lone other game in the Stanley Cup playoffs saw Minnesota win a playoff series for the first time since 2015. They beat the Dallas Stars 5-2 to take that series also in 6 games. Quinn Hughes, strong performance on the night as well with 2 goals. And the PWHL playoffs opener, Boston beat Ottawa 2-1 in Massachusetts. NBA playoffs continuing last night. The New York Knicks mollywomp the Atlanta Hawks 140-89. Former Raptor OG Anunoby leading the way with 29 points. They take that series 4-2. And the Philadelphia 76ers force a decisive Game 7, beating the Celtics 106-93. That'll go Saturday night. And the Denver Nuggets season also coming to a close as Minnesota beats them 110-98. Take the series in 6 games. Over in the majors yesterday, the Blue Jays dropped their opener in Minnesota to the Twins 7-1. Elsewhere, Houston and Baltimore splitting a doubleheader. Phillies take both of a doubleheader over the Giants, and the Kansas City Royals fall to the Athletics 6-3. Coming up in hour 2, the Kevin Karius Show will be joined by Sean Macko from The Athletic covering the NHL, and we'll check in with a new edition of In or Out. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Would you like to be a part of history for the month of April? I'm kidding. Or as the kids say, bro, I'm joking. Would you like to help us set a record in April? Chill, still kidding. At Northgate, we aren't trying to set any records or tell you how many vehicles we sell, and we really don't think you'd care. But what you will care about is this. Every dealer has the same costs. Trust me, GM does not have a favorite kid. You get to decide where you buy. 0% financing, a great selection, and of course, great people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or business online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call-solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit prosolutionsinc.ca to schedule your service today.
Alan Olson Auctions presents the Unreserved Farm Auction for George and Colleen Heslop of Millet, Alberta. Online bidding is open right now through Monday, May 4th at alanolsonauction.com. Bid on a variety of farm equipment, including a Fendt tractor, New Holland combine, 1998 GMC grain truck, augers, grain bins, a baler, cultivators, and much, much more. For more info, call Alan Olson Auctions at 403-843-2747 or visit alanolsonauction.com today.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Sports 1440.
All sports,
all day.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Thanks for listening to Edmonton's sports leader.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 8 o'clock in Edmonton. And time now for the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing, the only team that you want in your corner when things get messy. For all your plumbing needs, go to mrrooter.ca as we welcome back Sean Macko from The Athletic, covers the NHL. Good morning, Sean. You're with Kevin Karius. And the Grey Cup champion from 2015, the great Eddie Steele. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Well, I guess let's just get your opinion on, the fallout and everything else from this Oilers series now. We've been hammering it away for about an hour already, Sean, as you can imagine. But what's your take, a couple thousand miles away here with the Oilers bowing out in 6 games to the Ducks?
It's going to be fascinating to watch, I guess, is the view from far away, mixed in with a little bit of disbelief that it actually played out this way. I mean, I obviously watched the series, same as everyone else. I saw what was going right for the Ducks and not so great for the Oilers. I knew they were down, when down 3-1 in the series, the odds are against them. But especially after that Game 5 win, I thought they're going to pull this off. And who knows whether it's a trip back to the final, whether this is the year they get it done. But first round exit to this young upstart Anaheim team that nobody thought was even going to make the playoffs. I mean, that would just be the hockey gods putting too fine a point on it. And apparently not, because here we are, and now we got a very long, by Edmonton standards, and fascinating offseason ready to play out.
Yeah, before we talk about the Oilers and maybe what's going to happen, what's your perspective on the Ducks? And I'll be honest, we knew about the Ducks out here, but, when I watched little clips and interviews and things like Kevin Bieksa talking to Gauthier and Seneca and all these guys, it's almost like the guys out east, the reporters, the networks, really didn't know a whole lot about them and maybe didn't give them the credit that they deserved. Am I out in left field here, Sean, on that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, that's the geography and the time zones play into that. And more than that, just where Anaheim was or was supposed to be in their rebuild cycle. This was the part where, maybe this is the season where you hit the throttle a little bit and make some progress, play some meaningful hockey, maybe even make the playoffs. Look, I'll pat myself on the back a little bit. I picked the Ducks as my surprise in way back in October. I said, this team can make the playoffs in that Pacific Division. But I certainly didn't say that they were going to be leading the division for most of the year, as they were. And I didn't say that they were going to be winning a playoff round, and certainly not against the 2-time defending conference champions. So look, it's full credit to what they've built out there. Pat Verbeek's done a real good job keeping the youth and rebuilding, but supplementing it with the veteran talent, filling the gaps so that the kids aren't having to play too high in the lineup, or the kids aren't having to lose night in and night out and maybe get some bad habits out of that. Credit to Joel Quenneville. He obviously was the right guy at the right time for that team. And look, sometimes there is something to be said for having a core that's just too young and dumb to know that they're not supposed to be, and that they're not supposed to really put up this kind of a fight against a team as good as the Oilers. There's some value in that. And, on they go. And now they even get a little bit of a rest while we watch Vegas and Utah finish things off. Who knows? Maybe Anaheim, they've already been the surprise story of the regular season. Maybe they can keep it going in the postseason for at least a little while longer.
Mm-hmm. Now, Sean, I want to switch gears up and talk about the young team out east, and because the Ducks, they're the young team in the West, and they just defeated the Oilers. Now Montreal against Tampa, and Montreal has Tampa on the ropes in this series. They've met Tampa at every level, every challenge that has arose. In fact, Montreal's brought the challenge to Tampa most often in this series. What are your thoughts on how Montreal has played, being this young core that we've been hoping can arrive, and now it seems like they are on the scene and just bursting?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been fascinating to watch, fun to watch, an absolutely phenomenal series to sit back as a neutral fan without a rooting interest and just watch. I'm sure if you're a diehard of either of those teams, you're losing your mind, because there's been so many ups and downs and nasty stuff and all of that. But Montreal has been a great story. Again, another rebuild, done well, done right. But the question with them had always been, what's the ceiling for this team? How good can they be? We all looked at, we like Cole Caulfield, we like, we like Nick Suzuki, but was there enough there that they could be a cup contender, or was this team that was going to top out at, maybe they're a 100-point team, maybe they win a round or two? And they now look like they're legit, and they are giving this Tampa team everything they can handle. They are playing, to some extent, a Tampa type of series. I mean, the Lightning have been able to kind of dictate a lot of the style of this series, but Montreal hasn't taken a step back. They are not intimidated physically. They're not intimidated by the star power, by the history, by the Stanley Cup banner, recent ones hanging there. Montreal has been willing to just go toe to toe with these guys, and it's been fascinating to watch. It's made for a great series. They still have to finish it, but they look like a team that's very capable of doing that in the future. Even if something were to go sideways over the next couple of weeks or the next couple of games, the future still looks really bright in Montreal.
Sean Macko with us on Sports 1440. Do you think that the Lightning muck it up, if you know what I mean, tonight like they did in Game 2? Because they didn't do it much in Game 1. They did it in Game 2, and the result was there. Do you see more of that style of play from the Lightning tonight?
I mean, I'm sure they'd like to, but it gets tougher and tougher to play that style the deeper into a playoff series you go, because everything just becomes so crucial. It's one thing to do it in a Game 1 or a Game 2, especially with Montreal's power play looking like it has at times in this series. One penalty that can be your whole season, especially the way this series goes. I mean, we might as well go ahead and pencil this in as another 1-goal game. Maybe we get overtime, or maybe it's regulation. But these two teams are going to play it close, and there's just very little room for error. And again, that's where you would have thought Tampa would have the advantage, because they're the veteran team. They've been here. They have won cups with a big chunk of this core, whereas Montreal has not had that same level of experience. But so far, if you were just coming into this series blind, you wouldn't know that. Montreal's been right there. And when I say you wouldn't know that, that's a compliment to Montreal, not a knock on Tampa Bay.
No doubt about it. How about Minnesota knocking off Dallas? I mean, Dallas, they wouldn't even be in the series if it wasn't for their power play. Minnesota dominated them in 5v5 play. I can't wait to watch this Colorado-Minnesota series coming up.
Yep, absolutely. It's going to be another heavyweight fight, and hopefully Minnesota's got enough left in the tank to make it be a fight after Colorado has been just kind of sitting there, resting up, healing up, and all of that good stuff after knocking out LA so quickly. Hey, we all had this series circled going back to almost November, December, it felt like, where you knew that these two teams were going to be the ones that were going to end up meeting. And it delivered. Didn't deliver the 7 games that we hoped we would get, but full credit to Minnesota for that. And they called their shot. They said earlier on, they said they can't hang with us 5-on-5. And that's exactly how it ended up playing out. And, full credit to the Minnesota Wild, a team that, I think a lot of us were still a little so-so on, maybe because of the history, because it's been so long since they'd won a round. They had faded a little bit down the stretch after it had looked like they were going to chase home ice. But they had plenty left to go. And Dallas, I mean, some injury problems there, obviously, which you do see this time of year, and they can affect a lot of series, maybe more than we like to admit. But the Wild were the better team for most of this series, and it's very hard to look at this after 6 games and say the right team didn't win.
Now, Sean, I want to follow up with the Wild. Do you think the addition of Hughes is really what has set this team over the top in terms of, because they had a good roster, they had some really talented players, but again, they hadn't been able to get over that hill. Do you think Hughes has really been able to elevate this team to take them to where they need to?
Yeah, I mean, he really does seem to have been the difference, and he was fantastic in this series, fantastic last night, best player on the ice for either team. And yeah, I mean, it's very rare in the NHL that you get a chance to acquire a player like Quinn Hughes, and circumstances had to play out in Vancouver in a way that was very unfortunate for Vancouver fans, but it worked out great for Minnesota fans. And I mean, this guy's just a stud, and a Minnesota team that was already, as you say, a very good team, at the very least, a good team, good enough to make the playoffs, but not really good enough to scare anyone. And it was really that moment where they made that acquisition that you sort of said, okay, now it's showtime in Minnesota. And can they then build up to it? Can they live up to that? Because sometimes you see teams go out and they get a star player, whether it's trade or free agency or whatever, and it doesn't really work out. It doesn't click. You don't see that elevation. We've definitely seen it in Minnesota, and they're scary now. They're going to give Colorado everything they can handle.
Sean Macko with us on the Kevin Karius Show with Eddie Steele from The Athletic. I just wanted to maybe touch base with the Toronto Maple Leafs and the situation moving forward with what they are planning to do in the next little while, or hopefully in the next couple of weeks from what reports are indicating. What are you kind of thinking the plan of attack is for management moving forward with the Leafs here, Sean?
I mean, from all reports, it certainly sounds like it's going to be a Matt Sundin, John Chayka combo, with Chayka as GM and Matt Sundin as a president or maybe a vice president of hockey ops. And it's an interesting mix. Let's just say. It's given the resources that they have in Toronto, and given they were bringing in the consultants and the everything. And Keith Pelley was saying, this is the biggest thing I've ever done in my career, and it's the most important thing, and we're going to get it right. I mean, it's going to be a tough sell, let's just say. I mean, Matt Sundin, to start with, is beloved in Toronto, of course, a franchise legend there. But this is a guy who has the exact same amount of front office experience in the NHL that I have, which is to say absolutely none at all. And to suddenly bring him in, look, I mean, you've seen it out in Edmonton. We've seen it in other places where they bring in the former franchise greats, and it's sort of like, well, you love this guy, right? You're not gonna rip on him. You're not gonna criticize the team. It feels like a guy who will certainly get the market and certainly loves the team and can do all of that stuff. I don't know. It's going to be a tough sell. And then John Chayka, a guy who hasn't been in the league in a few years, had mixed, moderate level of success in Arizona in very tough circumstances. Let's say that with that ownership group, I'm not sure anybody could have done all that much there, but he's a guy that when you talk around the league, there are some very mixed opinions of him, let's just say. And how much of his smoke is actual smoke and how much of it is fire. It's hard to look at this, I think, if you're a Leaf fan and not feel disappointed given how high it seemed like the Leafs were aiming to get somebody who, one guy who hasn't been in the league in years and one guy who's really never done it since his playing days ended. It's a tough sell. And I don't know if Keith Pelly's the salesman to pull it off in Toronto.
Yeah, it's just funny how it's been all progressing. Then what happens, do you think, with the head coach?
I mean, I can't imagine that Craig Berube stays. Look, I thought Craig Berube was a great hire in Toronto, and I think he's a real good coach, but it hasn't worked. I mean, you look at the numbers, even last year when the standings said this was a real good team, there were a lot of warning signs that were there that some people were flagging. And you look at this year, it was a disaster, and the system didn't work. All the stuff that he preached about defensive hockey and playing on the right side of the puck, none of it was borne out on the ice. So I can't imagine that they keep him, and that'll be the new GM, whether it's John Shaker or someone else, because we know when new GMs come in, sometimes that's an easy way to buy yourself a bit of time, right? Oh, I'm going to keep the coach. I'm going to evaluate with my own eyes, and then it'll be down the road a year from now. Then I can play my coach card, and that buys me more time. This is an early test because it should be an easy one. Craig Berube is a good coach, but he's not a good coach for this Toronto Maple Leafs team. So you move on and you try to upgrade there. If they can't pull that piece of it off, then any optimism for the rest of it, I think, is going to drain real quick.
Hey, Sean, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the first round. And as the Stanley Cup playoffs continue, I'm sure we'll talk to you down the road. Thanks, as always, for being a part of our show.
Sounds great. Thank you for having me.
Sean Macko from The Athletic. And our headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter. And at Mr. Rooter, we are knocking your plumbing problems out of the park. That's mrrooter.ca. Good read. Yeah. Got a text from Derek. Morning, fellas. I just tuned in. Did Eddie break 100 yesterday?
Oh, yeah. Easy. Easy money.
Did you know what we did at 9? Well, I did a thing at 9:10. I guess it was, Duke, because I thought that was your tea time. You said you were delayed.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I went, and Duke goes, "What's that?" I go, "That's Eddie on the first tee putting it in the water right in front there."
Oh, man. I piped it.
Yeah, whatever.
I did.
And then, what's funny is around, I don't know, it was like 9:45. I texted my buddy Sean Piercy, that runs the ranch.
Yeah.
Along with Murray McCourt. Obviously, Murray's the GM and executive, and Sean's the head pro. But I made it up, Eddie. I lied. I'm sorry. But because he was on his way to Medicine Hat, I was hoping you were using the electronic scoring system.
Oh, so you could go in?
Yeah. So I said, I just said, Eddie is double bogeyed the first and second holes. He's 4 over after 2. So anyway, the funny thing, when I got to hockey yesterday, Weeks, he says to me, he goes, Ryan Weeks, he says, "Hey, how did you know about?" And I said, "I just made it up." He goes, "Oh, you're bad."
Yeah, especially with those scores.
Wow.
No, I went 45, 46, 91.
91.
Honestly,
so there you
KK,
go, Derek.
I hit it really well, man. I did. I had 5 3-putts. The putting killed me. Absolutely. And on most of these, I left it short, man. And there's a lot of sayings for that.
Big, powerful guy.
I left
Eddie.
it short. I was so scared on the green because the practice green was. I am. Practice green was quick. Practice green was really fast, but the greens out on the course were much slower. And boy, I was so scared. It cost me a lot of strokes, man. 5 3-putts.
Yeah, but Eddie, you know what happens if you start 2-putting a lot of these greens? What's going to happen is another part of your game will fall off.
See, the thing is, for the first time out, I'm just glad I was giving myself chances. Like I was putting for bird a few times, putting for pars most of the time. Just couldn't do anything with it. And, actually the best part of the game, Kevin, I only lost 3 balls. And
okay,
hold on.
3 balls. Okay.
I lost 2 on 16. It was 16? My blow-up hole. Yeah, it was my blow-up hole.
So
other than that, I played with 1 ball essentially the whole round.
On 16, so your drive was to the right?
Yeah, I went right both times.
Both times?
Yeah.
So wait a second here.
I went right. Drive was fine. Went right. Second shot, dropped, went right again. That was my blow-up hole.
My initial question to come in when you say I only lost. So did you actually only lose 2 balls, or was your net on the day
No, I busted
-2? Because we all know, and hey, no shame. I do it. Like when you're out looking for your own ball, when one you put in the long grass or even a little deeper into the woods, you find someone else's ball, and honesty or not, you can play it, or you just put in your pocket and say, well, at least I came out even on the hole.
No, I had my sleeve, Duke. I played with my one sleeve, and I was proud of that.
Crow flights?
Get out of here. I was honestly
Eddie,
up until
Eddie,
16. I played with one ball. I was playing clean, man.
Eddie and Josh Fenwick, they're the types that they only play the best.
No,
they only play provies.
No, I have no issue going and buying a box of recycled balls, but I'm not doing that for my first round.
That's I got my fresh carton in the backseat of my truck ready for Saturday. It's a nice recycled box of Kirkland specials.
Yeah, I'm not above that, Duke. I am not that guy.
HVAC Nick says, Eddie, a powerful guy with soft baby hands on the green.
Oh, I was, there was a lot of phrases you could say for me with how meek I was playing on the green. Very meek.
Text 833-401-1440. Got about 8,000 to get through here. We'll get to those when we come back after the break. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
The tents are up and the deals are out. The Brick's biggest sale of the season is on now. Take up to 60% off clearance items in the tents. Sofas start at $399 and save up to 50% on select mattresses. Plus, only until Monday, take until 2030 to pay with 0% interest. Get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. OAC, see in store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
I've got some good news. If you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck, the 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a sport performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers, the next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All Star Construction. And directional drilling, hydrobacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All Star Construction is all about.
Big guests, bigger takes. Jason Gregor brings the names you know and the stories you don't. Weekdays, 2 to 6 on Sports 1440. Don't miss a minute of the action on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Your favorite teams, your favorite sports. This spring, get all the action at Selly Sports Bar and Lounge. Never a bad seat in the house. Plus, the perfect playoff menu with something for every sports fan, including daily food and drink features. From great goals to thrilling three-pointers to huge home runs. Spring brings the best to the big screens at Selly Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
My ultimate dinner hack for busy weeknights is Catch of the Week. I used to think a great meal meant hours in the kitchen. Not anymore. I grab fresh fish, get simple instructions, and have an incredible dinner on the table in minutes. Their ready-made meals are a lifesaver, too. It's real food, it's fast, and it makes you feel like you've actually got your life together. They're just 5 minutes from Sherwood Park, but worth the drive from anywhere. Stop thinking about dinner and just go to Catch of the Week.
Visit catchoftheweekedmonton.com.
just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 824 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on Sports 1440 AM radio. We were talking about Eddie's game here, and Eddie sent me a video. What hole was that, Eddie? Who took the video, by the way?
My buddy. What would that have been?
That's on the par
15?
Yeah, that's the par 3.
Yeah, par 3 on the back.
And you guys are hooting and hollering. Anyway, my lovely bride, Laura, just texted and says...
Did you show her?
I showed her the video, yeah. Yeah. And she says, I saw the video of Eddie's swing. I don't think he can blame his putting on his score.
Oh, no. That's... don't be... She's obviously... wait. She's obviously... yeah, I have something to say. She's blinded by the muscles.
Oh, yeah.
First and foremost.
Oh, come on.
Like, you see the biceps. Yeah. Laura, I don't blame you, baby. I don't blame you. You see, it's the tight shirt. They say it's a medium. It's an XL.
Boys husky.
Smooth though. That's I gotta go light and smooth, man.
I couldn't see if that was your tee shot, or was that your second on
no,
that?
That was my,
okay.
That was get out of here, man.
So that's the whole Duke, remember?
Where I put it in.
That's 14, yeah. And then you had the 4 or 5 foot wedges last year.
Well, yeah,
right?
and because he puts it over in the bush on the side hill,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden,
hill.
and we're all kind of waiting down around the green. Like, I don't know if any of us even hit the green from the tee, but besides the point. And then all of a sudden, we're walking back to the cart, and it is like, man, can't believe I managed to save bogey there. And we just watched him 2-putt after putting into the woods, and we're just like, I don't know about that, Eddie. How's that possible?
You guys clearly have it mixed up.
Text 833-401-1440. David Whitetail, our buddy. Morning, boys. Love the crow flight reference. Haha. The goose gets rolling. So Dave moved from Whitetail to the goose hummock.
Okay.
Of course now.
So should we be changing Dave's handle here?
Yeah, we have to change it.
David the Goose?
David the Goose, yeah. Just a note to you and your team. Thanks for a great Oilers season, your content, commentary. Win or lose, we're lucky as a city to have a great team to cheer on. Thanks, boys. See you on the tee. Yeah, we'll see you at the Goose, Dave. And that was part of my liner for the country club tour for 10 o'clock with Gary Meyer and Mac T, that the Goose is opening up a driving range tomorrow, and then the course opens on Sunday.
Oh, it's go time.
Yeah, it is go time.
Are you playing Sunday?
Yes.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. Dr. Dick Richards says, I think 16, 17, 18 at the ranch, one of the best finishing stretches on a golf course around Edmonton. Well, I think even 2, Tricky Dicky, you got to add 15 in there now, because they lengthened that hole where the green is back, and it makes for a really tough second shot.
It does.
I mean, the second shot, if you're a little bit left, you're going down in those traps or even into the water.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're too high, it kind of gets caught up in some of the fescue up there.
Yeah.
So it's a tough second shot, Tricky Dicky. So I think if you haven't played it, and I know you said yesterday that you were out there years and years ago, but 15, so it would be 15, 16, 17, 18.
On 16 and 18, with the water, where Lake Karius is, the water levels are quite high still. So the fairways are tight because it's above the, I guess, the water lines.
We'll be out there Sunday.
I can't wait. Can't wait to get back out.
Text 833-401-1440. Duke, I mean, we've had so many. Have I missed anything of that you've kind of...
Kevin, I've been doing my best just to read them all.
Just to make sure, yeah.
And the problem is, and it's not a problem necessarily, but a lot of them are echoing a similar sentiment across the board. And it's a lot of what we've touched on here over the first hour and a half of the show is, what causes team to come up short, and where are the flaws? And there are some comments about wanting a coaching change, wanting a change in management with Stan Bowman, and this very Jekyll and Hyde type resume of the moves he's made and the deals he's put on since taking over as general manager of the Oilers. And it's a fair point, because you have the ads at the deadline this year of the likes of Murphy, And of course, Jason Dickinson and Connor Murphy, I thought was probably certainly the Oilers' best defenseman over 6 games overall, and maybe their second or third best player after Podkolzin, who, by the way, he signed to that excellent extension. Kapanen, he's going to be doing a new deal here, and I think probably sits at the top of the list of order of business for the Oilers to attend to. But then you've also got all the things we listed out: the Jari trade, the Frederick extension, these extensions for Jake Wallman. And listen, Matthias Ekholm, I'm interested to see in locker cleanout day if something's plaguing him, because he was not good in this series. He looked like a guy that has played as many games in as many years as he has in the NHL. If something's hampering him because his foot speed looked even slower than usual, and we know he's not a burner to start with, and then he essentially got relegated to playing third pairing at times, right? Like he did not. I didn't even look what his final minute log on the night was, but and his number is a very stomachable one. But for the term that remains on it, it's early, but it's not looking like an excellent
16-22 for Ekholm, Duke.
6
minutes played,
16-22.
That compared, like, this guy's logging 20-22 on a much more regular basis.
3 minutes more than Ty Emerson, who didn't see the ice for the last half of the third period, probably.
Yeah.
And Duke, you brought up a point that I forgot about Bowman, and we talk about Frederick's contract. We talk about the Jari trade. I forgot about the Wallman contract. And I'm not saying that Wallman's a write-off at all, but boy, that's it's a big contract for many years.
He was, speaking of Jacqueline, I thought he had moments in the series where he looked like one of the team's best defensemen, but he is still a very risky player.
Yes, the unpredictability in his game.
It is something that the Oilers kind of already have in Evan Bouchard at times. And Bouchard's a way better player.
A lot up in my mind.
He does.
So I mean, his contract kicks in next year at $7 million.
7 times 7.
It goes to 2033.
For what is reality, a third pairing defenseman.
So between Ekholm and Wallman this year was 9-4. Next year it'll be 11. Now, I mean, I think the number you can stomach, but can you stomach the play? Now that is the question. And Wallman is the guy that has to be. I mean, if you're signing a guy for that kind of dough and he's not in your second pair, now you got problems, man.
And let's be honest, he just needs to be available more than anything to begin with. Then get his play cleaned up.
So on the back end, I mean, Emerson's going to be back at 1-3. They'll figure out what they're going to do with Spencer Stastny. But again, he's a 7th guy. When you look at the guys that I would say that 100% are not coming back, okay, Adam Henrique. So there's $3 million to play with there. What would you pay for Jason Dickinson, and what kind of term? Last year he was at this year 2.125. So is he doubling his salary for a 4-year contract? Is he 4x4?
He's about to be how old?
He's 30 right now. But I'm sure that he wants to sign even a longer term deal.
I think 4x4 would be an overpay. I love the player. I really like the player. But
Duke,
4x4.
I don't know. 4x4 for Dickinson, I think I'm okay with.
I think if we're like trying to size up the list of free agents and likeliness of retention, I'd be more interested in bringing back Connor Murphy than I would Jason Dickinson. And I like Dickinson. I like what he brought to the team, and you got to respect because he was clearly the most hurt of any of the Oilers players and gutting it out. And the games he didn't play, his absence was noticeable. Even if when he was in the lineup, every shift looked like a struggle, and every hit he took, laboring back to the bench. I think 4 years
for he's going to be 31 next year. So.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd like
4x4.
I'm not sure I'd be willing to commit a slightly higher dollar figure for like a 2-year
for less
deal,
term
for a 2-year deal.
So same with Murphy. He was at 2.2. He'll be a 34-year-old defenseman. I mean,
same thing for Murphy.
Again.
A 1 or 2 year deal for Murphy would be fine, but I'm not. And like I said, if the dollar figure has to be slightly higher to make that happen, and I get all of a sudden we're talking about slightly bigger figures for guys.
I was just explaining to a texter too, because everyone looks back and Connor Brown had a really good year in New Jersey, had 17, 18 goals. Were the Oilers prepared? Were Oiler fans prepared to go, what do you get? 4 times 3, 12 million.
That's
for a
I think that's right.
33-year-old player. Is that what you're looking at? I mean,
yeah.
Everyone, well, you got to get younger. So next year, Savoy and Howard are going to be in the lineup every day. I mean, Howard has to make that step.
100%
has to.
So now you're okay with that.
The same can be said for Szymanski.
Yes. So now you got 3 guys that, on their basically $1 million, right? So that's good. That's 3 players up front. Now, that's why I think someone's going to give Dickinson 4x4.
What about Doc? Bring him back on the low, of course.
Yeah. I mean, and Doc is, he's an RFA next year.
Okay,
so,
RFA.
I mean, he's going to get a bump up.
Minor bump, but
he's probably
at least a couple $1 million.
Yeah,
I was going to say 1 point something. Yeah,
he's doubling his salary. Depending on what kind of contract he wants.
That's a guy again you want around. Absolutely.
And Kevin, the biggest thing for me, and it's unfortunate because some of these guys that like Dickinson, Murphy, even Kapanen at this point, which is crazy because Kapanen is only 29 years old. They deserve a little security at a decent price, right? You're talking about say, let's just use the Dickinson example, 4x4. But the Oilers have already hamstrung themselves by giving too many years to players that you shouldn't have. And as a result, you need to be more cautious to give yourself flexibility. And if that means having to bite the bullet on letting guys walk or paying them more on a shorter term, so be it. But you can't keep signing guys to longer term deals, longer term deals when it the justification is not there.
Like Kapanen's in the if you look at what Podkolzin signed, so 3 years, just under $3 million a season. Kapanen's not at that level, I don't think, but he's probably 3 years at maybe 2.5, 2 to 2.5.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be way more aggressive as management and stop giving out these no moves and stop giving out this long term. One thing that I don't know, I have this debate in my mind because I'm so used to nothing is guaranteed in football, right? So you're playing your butt off week to week, man, to stay on the team because they're looking to replace you. A guy like Trent Frederick, you signed this $3 million by 7-year deal, so you just secured yourself $21 million. Maybe you can check out a little bit because that contract guaranteed in the NHL. And that's probably what happened is there's some checking out because he secured his bag. You can't be having that moving forward on the roster. You got to be able to flesh that out and get guys who are going to show up day in and day out for you.
Zach Hyman, he moves next year from a total no movement to an 8-team no trade clause. Not saying they would move him, but they have so many totally no move clauses.
Yeah, where it's total locked up.
Total. And
the big talk is Nurse too. How that's going to open
one
up.
more year of totally no movement, Darnell Nurse. The following year, it goes to a 10-team no trade list.
How many years does he have left on his
deal?
deal?
Till 2030, so he's got 4 more years.
At 9.25.
And I mean, again, the Wallman deal, it could be worse, to be honest with you, than Frederick.
I forgot about the Wallman deal until Duke brought it up, man.
It could be worse than Frederick's.
And what are all these? Frederick is the exception because he was an unrestricted free agent. All these other deals, and specifically the Ekholm and the Wallman ones, were done unnecessarily.
You didn't need to do it.
You could have waited for Jake Wallman at the end of this year.
You could have waited till halfway through the season and saw this guy cannot play 82 games, cannot be relied on to be in the lineup. And Wallman had a bad regular season. He played better in these 6 games of playoffs, and he wasn't great than he did all regular season. And you say, maybe this isn't a guy we're interested in keeping in the fold long term.
When we come back, we're going to go in or out with Eddie Steele. I haven't even looked at the old in or out list yet, Eddie. I'm sure there's a golf question about Eddie's solid golf performance yesterday.
I can't wait to get you guys on the course. I got you right where I want you. Right. Pew, pew. In the crosshairs. Hey, sharpshooter. Quick draw.
Hey, Duke, what was that text that someone was sending in because we were talking about the gunfight?
King of Fort Nasty had sent something in about me and growing up. And I'm familiar with duels too, but they involve air cannons and potatoes. And I said, no, I never actually did that, but I did get shot in the forehead by a BB gun from my buddy when we were like 12 years old from like 2 feet away.
Ooh.
Just banged me right in the middle. Dead
pretty
center.
risky, man.
Well, the joke was that he was trying to shoot like my hat off my head because I had it sitting up, so the beak was elevated, kind of pointing up, and he even from 2 feet away missed and just banged me right between the eyes.
You'll shoot your eye out.
Well,
when we come back, a great text from Robert too, that I think everyone has to take into consideration and how difficult it is to stay at the top of the heap for a longer period of time. It's Kevin Carey Show with Eddie Steele, Duke of Delburne, Josh Finwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Do you have neck or back pain? Ever go for treatment hoping for a simple fix only to realize your stubborn spine is basically a science project with attitude? Hey, we get it. And honestly, we're a little sorry because great rehab does take proper experimenting. But at Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we don't just toss exercises into the beaker and hope it doesn't explode. We start with the right diagnosis, then mix hands-on care, precise manual therapy, and evidence-based technology. The formula your body actually needs. Science and skill with gratitude, not attitude. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business, and for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick.
We're making it easy. Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440.
CTV Sundays. Television's most captivating love story continues on Sullivan's Crossing.
It's hard to focus on the present when you're still looking at the past.
But the road ahead takes an unexpected turn.
Would have thought you'd have mentioned being married before.
Well, that's changed since then.
Morgan Cohan and Chad Michael Murray in the drama that asks, is true love enough? An all-new Sullivan's Crossing, Sundays on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
The puck is passed up through the neutral zone, and here's a breakaway. He's coming in hot. He shoots it. Oh, no! A broken stick.
When it comes to performance, quality parts matter. Napa Auto Parts has all the reliable parts, tools, and more to keep your vehicle running like a playoff contender. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Your game, your station. Sports 1440.
And watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Is this your request, Eddie?
It's me.
Who
This
is
is
it?
all she wrote. T.I. Eminem.
Who?
T.I.
T.I.
and Eminem.
The Rubber Band Man.
It's over with. This all she wrote. You can read between the lines.
I guess so.
Is that really having to read between the lines or just reading on the lines? That's all
guess.
she wrote. Season's over.
You got it.
Good night, Irene.
Cleveland Browns released a video of their new Huntington Bank Field that's slated to open in 2029.
Okay.
Now, this place looks awesome. Like you talk about, this is Cleveland.
Tech.
This new stadium that's 3 years away is going to be something else.
Like a spaceship, probably.
No, No, not at all. Not at all. I'm kind of worried about how the roof is. Like just looking at it, like I don't know if remember how the snowstorm happened in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I think it's a glass roof. To be honest with you,
Oh, wow.
I think it is. Like it's. I have to take a closer look at the video, but it was pretty cool. Text 833-401-1440 from Robert. Good one, Robert. Really good text here. 3 of the 4 final 4 teams last playoff year are out in round 1 or didn't make the playoffs. 3 of the 4 best regular season teams for points last year didn't make the playoffs this year. It's so hard to win. We're all frustrated, maybe need to take a breath today and stay offline. They played a ton of great hockey over the last few years.
Really
shows
good point.
Shows you how tough it is. I mean, you think about how tough it was for Florida this year and the injuries. And then, the injuries caught up to the Oilers down the stretch and then into the playoffs for sure. You look at like Zach Hyman was a shadow of himself here.
Yeah.
And I mean, Leon, the same thing. But you think about Zach coming back late and still scoring 30 goals. I mean, like this guy's.
Yeah. He's a machine in the dirty parts of the game.
Mm-hmm. Time now for you in or out, brought to you by Pro Solutions. If you need fast air conditioning service, Pro Solutions offers expert repairs, tune-ups, and installs with flexible financing. Book your appointment now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
All right, Duke, letterbuck.
The Edmonton Oilers season coming to an end last night, falling in 6 games to the Anaheim Ducks for a first-round exit. Lots of question marks moving into the offseason. We've got plenty of time to break all of that down, but let's start with just the immediate postmortem of this series itself. The player that had the most disappointing series, all factors considered, was Evan Bouchard.
I'm going to be out on this one, Duke. And it pains me to say this.
Ooh.
But for me, it's Connor McDavid. I think he was in a compression boot since I think basically game 2 or whatever it was when he got twisted up there with Matthias Ekholm. I'm going to say it's Connor McDavid. And Bouchard, I mean, there's lots of blame to go around here, man. But if you got to pick one guy, and it pains me to say this because this is the best guy in the world. And he does things that we'll might not never see again with his skill level. But man, oh man, it pains me to say it, but it's the one guy. It's for me, it's Connor. And we're going to find out here exactly how banged and beat up he was. But,
totally. But as they say, if you're playing, you can't use injuries as an excuse. You're healthy enough to be out there.
Yeah.
Well, you have nothing to say in terms of the performance. I'm going to be with you, Kevin, out on the question, agreeing that it is Connor. And we're not here ganging up on the best player in the world. But the reality is,
it hurts to say it.
He didn't perform the way he needs to, the way this team needs him to.
You look on the second goal for one. On that, it was Kreider's the rush. Ekholm was really poor on the play too. He was drifting. He got caught. He was skating like a wild man, trying to get back in the play. But it all starts back in
Connor
in the offensive zone, and it's a turnover. And then the other thing too, he I don't even know if he got back to the red line by the time the puck.
That's what I was mentioning earlier when that turnover, and Duke thought I was talking about Bush. No, Connor.
We were talking about different goals.
Yeah, I was talking about that one.
That's where that misunderstanding.
And Connor, he didn't even get back in the picture.
No,
and he's the one who turned it over.
So, hey, Bouchard had one good game.
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
And if we're just looking at the numbers, here's the numbers. Bush was a -7, 1 goal, 6 assists, 7 points. Connor was a -8, 1 goal, 5 assists. So he just numbers statistically, Connor was the worst player in the series.
Yeah.
I want to just throw this out there. And it's not a mandate, it's not a take, it's a question. For the Evan Bouchard detractors, does this series, not because of his play necessarily, fuel the narrative that in a series, 6 games where Evan Bush or Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are fighting injuries of some capacity and are not even close to their best, he does not look like a semblance of the player that we know he's capable of being.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. This has been a story essentially since he's burst on the scene. Say he's a merchant of playing with two of the best forwards in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Does this series fuel that, or do you look at it more and say, "Hey, the team's banged up. They did not play well for 6 games. Put a pin in it. Regroup. Try again next season."
I don't know.
I don't know either, Duke, to be honest, because we're so used to playoff Bush, right?
And that's what makes it even more confusing to me because, yeah, in Game 5, he made a couple plays at both ends of the ice.
They were great.
And defensive plays never, and it doesn't matter what player it is, if it's Evan Bouchard or if it's Jacob Slavin, they never get the shine that they deserve compared to a slick pass, setting up Podkolzin, the patience, the poise of the blue line to avoid giving up a shorthanded breakaway when you're up 2 goals. Now you're up 3 goals and you win the hockey game, right? Like those type of plays get the headlines, as do the egregious turnovers and the mistakes. We saw quite a few of them last night. Even just the casualness. A couple times on like going back for pucks, he takes a peek over his shoulder, sees guys are coming, and it's so lackadaisical, he gets beat to it. He gets beat to the puck. In a game, you're the lack of urgency. It's a trade-off. Calm, cool, collected versus the lackadaisical nature. It's a tough line to walk, and I think he walked the wrong side of it way too much in this series.
Again, to your question, I mean, Bouchard's right behind McDavid in my books.
And the only reason I do give McDavid the benefit of the doubt is we do not know what exactly is ailing him, and it was clear that he didn't have that dynamic step that's synonymous with his play. On the flip side, the Ducks move on. They will await the winner of Utah and Vegas, who will play Game 6 tonight. Get a chat about that with Broen Houston coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. The best player in this series was the other number 2 on the opposite blue line. The Ducks had lots of contributions. We talked about it earlier on this week, Kevin. Full team effort, right? Rolling 4 lines, 2 pairs of D. And the third pair of D of Anaheim's, I thought, acquitted themselves very well over the course of the series. But it was Jackson Lacombe. And I think this will serve as his coming out party for the rest of the NHL and league-wide to see.
Well, I can't disagree with you there, Duke. And again, not just the points, right? It's not just the points.
Defensive play was just as good.
Yeah. You know, as you said, 1 goal, had the 8 assists. I mean, Leo Carlsson had a hell of a series. Gauthier, think about if you take Game 1 out of the mix for Cutter Gauthier and just talk about the last 5 games. I mean, he's right there too. And
balling.
Terry was exceptional. I mean, when the Oilers had, if you want to say the Oilers had a half dozen to 8 passengers, I can't think of one. Maybe, you know what, Duke? Maybe the first game in Ratko Gudas. And as soon as they took him out of the lineup, what happened?
Yeah, it's a fair comment. And I'll be honest, I kind of would have said Chris Kreider because he was very non-impactful, not very noticeable through the first 5 games.
Big goal.
And then he was huge last night, re-elevated to the top line. Well, we talked earlier about the, Quenneville pushing the right buttons with this team. That was a great one because he had not had a great series. The turnover back in the Game 1 loss. That point hadn't been on the board yet, I don't believe, in the series. Maybe 1 assist. He touched the game in a lot of elements last night. Physical, forechecking, and then he gets the points to reward him last night with a couple on the score sheet.
Well, and again, so for Lacombe, he's +6 in the series, playing against the very best.
The best.
Well, but they weren't the best.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and when you're, 27 minutes a night, Duke, probably.
I'll check what the final.
I think he's 26:59. I think that's correct.
It's right in the prime of his career, man. 25 years old, not even in it yet.
Played 27 minutes last night again.
Yeah. He's 26:59.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah.
What's really impressive about him, Kevin, you talked about it's not just points. It's not just his defensive game. But I saw probably at least once throughout every game during the series where he just absorbed hits, right? You go to hit the guy, but he just absorbs it. He doesn't get knocked off the puck or off his feet. Takes it.
Think about the hit on
the reverse hit on Hyman.
The reverse, yeah.
Hyman's going and Hyman's he's not a small guy either. There's some thickness to him, and it was like he just ran into a wall there. So he's when you think about it too, and Duke mentioned this, he can, as far as Lacombe goes, he's playing with Carlson, he's playing with Trouba. he's moving around. So the only bad thing that I can say about the Ducks moving forward, Duke, that it's not a bad thing. The only concern is that those three guys, and when you add their fourth D-man in, I don't know if they're going to have enough to go on a longer run with those four guys.
And we've seen that with teams in the past, right? When you lean too heavily on just like whether it be one or two forward lines or just like a top pairing of D, then that makes it difficult for sustained runs. And then I think also a big question for the Ducks is still a net. And this is we haven't even talked about Dostal, who once again looked pretty shaky in the first period, right? Like kicking stuff out. And the Ducks or the Oilers did not take advantage of it in a way that would reflect them recognizing it. Like you see a guy struggling with rebounds, pepper him a little bit more, get him to boot some stuff out. Instead, they continued to play, as we've said 100 times already today, way too casual, continuing just to expect the game to kind of come to them at some point. And they allowed Dostal to find his game. He came up with a few big stops in periods 2 and 3 to keep the Ducks' advantage where it was. And you got to give him props for that after the struggles he's faced this series. So see how he fares in round number 2, regardless of opponent. Finally, let's look ahead a little bit. And there's plenty of chatter about this already this morning on this show and beyond. The chances of a major change, and I'm going to put both in this camp, of in management or the coaching staff. I think it's well better than 50-50. I'm going to peg it at 75%.
So you're putting the GM and the staff together here?
Just either or.
Either
a major name. And this,
just hockey ops.
Interpret this as much as you want. Does it for the coaching staff? Does it have to be the head coach that gets fired? Is based on what we've seen this year, is it crazy to say that an entire collection of assistants is dismissed, and you come back with a fresh staff under Chris Knobloch?
I think if something happens there, Duke, I think it'll be the entire staff.
Okay, all right, fair.
The entire staff, because
and this was Chris Knobloch's staff, right? Previously they were carryover assistants. We know Coffey had been inserted kind of alongside him at an original hiring. They bring him back in partway through the year, but the rest of that this past summer, this was Chris Knobloch's fingerprints on his coaching staff, and the results were not very.
And then they brought Coffey back,
in the weirdest way.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if it's at 75 for me, but the more that you like, is Stan Bowman making changes to save his job?
That's always the trickle down effect, right? Because and then we've had a couple of texts like, why has there been no announcement already this morning about somebody being fired? They're gonna have their exit interviews. They're gonna go through this whole process, and if it comes down to Daryl Cates and probably Jeff Jackson sitting opposite Stan Bowman and saying, what are we doing here? Like what went wrong? And don't use these injuries as your primary excuse or get out of jail free card. And if Stan Bowman says, yeah, I don't know, I think we got out coached again, and he uses that as his leverage point, then absolutely I think it's possible that Chris Knobloch is not the head coach of this team next year. I'm not necessarily saying I agree that I think it's just the same old thing again with this organization to use that as an excuse, but it's the nature of sport.
In the same breath too, Duke, though, it's also, as you say, it's Jeff Jackson and Daryl Cates. They're deciding on Stan Bowman.
Well, that's what I mean, right? That they're trying to determine if they fire him and he passes the buck, and if he does a good enough job convincing them that he brought in the right players and he's not going to pretend and say that all of his moves were correct. I think that'd be an impossible notion. But to say that he did enough to give the coaching staff an arsenal of weapons to work with, and they did not deploy them properly, well, maybe it'll just depend on how good of a salesman Stan Bowman is in this meeting.
If they fire Stan Bowman, then I think everyone's gone.
Oh my goodness!
Well, yeah, because it's always
that's such a reset.
A new GM would bring in his own guy.
That would, I don't know, man. That wouldn't be. I don't know. I don't know what would be the best for this organization: a total reset with hockey ops, or the status quo and make some adjustments and tinker. I don't know. Gee whiz.
Gee willikers.
Gee whiz. You know who used to say that all the time was Howie Meeker. Gee whiz.
Turning the page to the remainder of the Stanley Cup playoffs, there's still lots of great hockey to be played here, since it is just the first round, as disappointed as Oilers fans might be. If they're interested in picking a new team to throw their support behind, I think the Buffalo Sabres serve as the best candidate for Edmontonians to be supporting the rest of the way.
Oh, I'm so in on this one, Duke. Yeah, I'm in. Eddie, I know you're going to say
Traitor.
Montreal Canadiens.
Traitor.
You're going to say that.
Elbows up.
I mean, it's a great story. I'll be honest. I enjoy watching the Ducks. If the Ducks keep playing the way they are,
I do too.
I'd enjoy that.
And so that's interesting because you said this earlier, Kevin. Yeah. Did the Oilers throw their weight behind that to say, well, we might have lost in the first round, but it was to the cup winners again.
5 years in a row. 5 years in a row. Could you imagine if Utah comes back and beats Vegas, though, what this Utah-Anaheim series would look like?
That would be sweet.
That could be
excitement.
Well, you could have a 6-5 game every night. 6-5 game every night. But I'm going to go with Buffalo. You know what, to be honest with you, and this is just for MTR too, just for MTR. Like 100 years ago in the 70s, I liked watching the Sabres. I liked the uniforms, and I thought it was kind of cool as a kid. I liked a lot of the guys that they had, the French Connection, and they had, like, there was an old goalie named Roger Crozier who was, I don't know, was something about it, the way he played, and you'd get to see Buffalo every once in a while on Hockey Night in Canada, when they were playing either, obviously there was one Canadian team too, whether it was Toronto or Montreal, but every once in a while you'd see Buffalo. And Gilbert Perreault was such a, in the mid 70s, I mean, and early 70s, he was such a effortless player. So I just going to say Buffalo, and I'll take the Sabres as to throw the support behind. They better get past Boston here, dude.
It's the good chance to close it out tonight. They're gonna have to try and do it on the road, or else return home for a decisive Game 7. But Eddie, you think the Habs? You're going with the Canadian?
I like them. I like them. Like Kevin said, though, the Ducks, they are exciting, and I like watching. They're big too. They're not usually teams with high skill like the Ducks are smaller, like what Montreal is.
Yeah,
but the Ducks, man, they're physical.
And the Habs were very close on this list for me when I was picking one team, and the Canadian element, and because I don't think there's a lot of, like, if Toronto was still, you're never going to find Oilers fans rooting for Toronto just because they're a Canadian team. The same can be said if it was the Flames, Vancouver, but I think, like, the Jets, Senators, and probably the Habs, that they don't have that same level of rivalry with Edmonton and the fan base. So I think there will be plenty of Oilers fans that are rooting for the Habs, and the only reason I would say they would not go for Buffalo is this possibility of, listen, 2015, that was supposed to be the turnaround for the Sabres, right? They are far and away the worst team. They lose the lottery. They get Jack Eichel. They end up having to trade him. He goes on to win a cup. If the Sabres were to win a cup before Edmonton in this process, that would be pretty devastating.
And what if Billy the Butcher does the double dip, Billy Guerin?
Double dip.
Olympic gold.
U.S. gold, Stanley Cup champion.
Pretty serious.
And, makes the biggest trade in
huge
recent history in the NHL.
Finally, this day, 1939, Batman made his first appearance in comics, the Detective Comics. People often forget that was the original kind of storyline of him. He is a detective, almost policeman-like in his escapades. Just one appearance so far in the film franchise side of things. Robert Pattinson's portrayal of the Cape Crusader, I think, has a chance to be the character's very best. I loved that. I loved The Batman, the most recent movie. I thought it was excellent. And I thought his portrayal was excellent.
What are we?
I don't have.
What are we talking about? Like the Joker and stuff?
No,
the Batman
like
Returns?
the portrayal of Batman. Right. Look at all the actors that have played him.
Yeah.
Kilmer, Keaton, Clooney.
Oh man, it's got to be Christian Bale.
So that I think but a lot of people say Keaton is actually still the best. But I think if Pattinson can follow up what he did in the first one, I think he could take over as the best.
I'll probably go Clooney because a lot of people.
Okay.
Well, no, we'll just wait because a lot of people think we look the same. Like,
my God.
We get confused all the time.
I'd like to see you in the nipple bat suit, Kevin.
I think I'll go Christian Bale because people say the same thing about us too. Me and him, we look the same. Hey, before I get out of here, because it is 9:00 and I got a jet soon. There was one really nice text that came in from Andrew. How about you read that?
Where is it?
I'm a plug.
Okay, here it is. Sorry, we didn't spend much time on that last question there, Duke. But
hey, that's what we're all heavy hockey
Eddie's
today. Heavy
worried
hockey
about
today.
the clock. Eddie's worried about the clock today. All right, here it is. Andrew texts in. Andrew, what's his last name?
Barron.
Andrew Barron. This is a first-hand account of Eddie's golf game. It's looking great. Dialed in the irons. The drive is long. The only thing he needs a sponsorship for a new flat stick. And you're going to go buy a putter.
He's not lying.
Yep.
Need a putter. Coming for that 80.
Okay. See, again, we talked about this yesterday. A professional athlete like yourself. That's not goal setting.
No, I'm just joking. 85 will be the average.
Let's start at 90.
Man.
Start at 90, then you work yourself. You go, okay, I got 90. Now I'm going to try, what is it? 88? Is it 80, 88? 80, 87? Because it was 80, 85 last year, and then we upped it up. We gave you a couple more strokes, correct?
I can't wait to get out and play with you guys.
But we get in your head.
No, you don't.
Oh, come on now.
Not anymore.
The court of public opinion will have something to say about that.
Well played, Kevin Karius. Well
Hey,
played.
are you looking forward? So we're going to go to the Szechuan Castle here this afternoon.
Hey, easy. No free ads. No free ads for them.
Why?
For the restaurant.
No free ads. We've said their name
I'm kidding.
1,000 times on this station.
I
since
just
the
don't.
Masters.
I don't want them to catch wind that we're coming and
what?
Try and pull some shenanigans on us.
What are they going to do? Take some trays out of the buffet
That's exactly
table?
it. No,
Come
no.
on now, Eddie.
Here's 15 trays of white rice.
I want the best of the best chicken. I know you want that ginger beef. I can't
beef.
wait to watch you crush it.
Well, I'm going to have a nice soup to start.
Oh, wonton.
A little wonton soup.
Yeah.
And hopefully there's a lot of nice wontons, because I don't like,
Just
I
broth.
don't want my eyes to get sore looking for the wontons. You know what I mean? Are you going over to do a little?
Yeah, gonna go do Elks Nation.
Who's your guest?
No one today, actually.
Are you guys going to talk about then? I mean, I assume it's going to be a big.
Lots of with the new rules, the playoffs, and then the draft that just happened.
Hey, I know
Elks.
you got to run, but I got to ask you a quick question
Yeah, man,
about
it's all good.
Okay, moving up the schedule to me, that's a concern. To
It's garbage.
Yeah. Okay. See,
Hot garbage. Because training camp is now going to be essentially in April.
April 20th. Ballpark.
And look at the type of weather we have here in April. How do you expect these pro athletes to be out in the snow potentially? Silly.
Like bad temperatures.
Silly.
Like you're going to have guys, I'm predicting this right away next year with so many soft tissue issues in camp.
Thank you for saying that.
People are going to go, bad hammy. Bad
Hammies
this, bad
galore.
that, everything.
Hammies galore. Groins.
And then you're going to wonder why the roster gets set and we barely saw a guy. And you're going to be going off tape. You're going to be going off last year. You're going to, it stinks in my mind. And the other thing too, I really believe that if a couple teams in Canada make a Stanley Cup run, I still believe that hurts all the way across the country. I mean, Dave Naylor said, well, it hurts in Edmonton if they go.
It will hurt the market.
But I don't know. I still
like
think
if Toronto's going on a cup run, we're not going to, in Edmonton, are we going to be caring about that? We're still going to come and watch the Double E.
I just think people, they watch at home, people, what do they say now? Oh, I'll watch the CFL on TV instead of going to the game.
Well, man, at least they moved the goalposts, so that's going to make big changes, Kevin. More points are coming.
Oh,
silly.
I can't wait for the first 10 possessions that we see 3rd and 8. And you're just going to go for it. Well, no, you're not.
Yeah. Punts.
Yes.
Punts
you're going to go
punts from the 30.
Yeah. You're not gambling on 3rd and from the 35, call it. What are you doing? And I said they're going to turn this into rugby, Eddie.
Yeah.
Good show, big guy. That was you never know how things are going. And I'll be honest, I think our text line's been really kind of respectful today. And it's been some well thought out texts.
It has.
There's people, I guess, they're calling for heads, some people.
Of course.
But I think it's been pretty good so far. So we'll see you at the castle.
Ooh, I'll see you boys.
And you're going to the gym to have a quick workout?
I'm going to go work up an appetite. I will see you there.
3 plates? 3-plate, Eddie?
Minimum. Okay, boys.
Have a great one, Eddie.
Yes, sir. Have a good finish.
3.5 hours with a healthy appetite.
You got sweats on?
No, but these shorts I got on
Oh, he's got shorts on.
Yeah, but I've already.
You know what that means?
We know you loose under there, KK.
That's risky.
Risky biz.
Stop it, you guys. Broen Houston from the Deseret News covers the Utah Mammoth, who will be with us at 9:20. We've got an edition of Cam and Eggs at 9:40. Then it's Golfing with the G-Man, Gary Meyer, the golf pro from the Belvedere for many years. First, the youngest golf pro in Alberta PGA history. So good on Gary for that. And we'll be joined by Craig McTavish. So we'll talk a little Oilers, we'll talk a little NHL, but we'll talk golf too with Mac T, who loves teeing it up. The former Edmonton Oiler player, coach, GM, the whole bit. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fusion Promo Marketing. Expand your brand, high-quality promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Get noticed at fusionpromomarketing.ca. That's Fusion with a Z. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oilers season coming to a close last night. Falling to the Ducks 5-2 in SoCal to drop the best-of-7 series 4 games to Troy Terry, Chris Kreider, each with 3 points in the victory. Anaheim now awaits the winner of Utah and Vegas for their second-round matchup. Lone of the game in the Stanley Cup playoffs on Minnesota. Punched their ticket to the second round for the first time since 2015. They beat Dallas 5-2 to take the best-of-7, 4-2 as well. Quinn Hughes, pair of goals in the victory. PWHL playoffs kicking off last night. Boston beating Ottawa 2-1 to open up a 1-0 series lead. And in the association, the New York Knicks are off to round number 2 after a mollywhopping of the Atlanta Hawks 140-89. They take that series 4-2. And the Boston Celtics cannot close out the Sixers. They fall 106-93 decisive. Game number 7 will go Saturday night. Denver Nuggets, they're out as well, falling to the Timberwolves 110-98. Minnesota wins the series 4-2. And in the majors, Blue Jays lose their series opener in Minnesota 7-1 to the Twins. Coming up in hour 3 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Broen Houston from the Deseret News covering the Utah Mammoth, and we'll hear today's edition of Cam and Eggs. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440,
A Stingray radio station.
broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Summer in Alberta means baseball debates.
Okay, best ballpark snack. Gotta be popcorn. Nah, it's nachos, hands down.
Nah, you're both wrong. It's mini donuts. But when it comes to beef jerky, there's no argument.
Wilhauk beef jerky.
The only snack every fan agrees on. Grab some for your next ballpark outing.
Wilhauk beef jerky, because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
At Metal Supermarkets, they're all about value added. In addition to a warehouse bursting with steel, aluminum, all the good stuff, and cut fast, they offer a ton of value-added services. Metal bending, drilling, punching, notching, welding, and back hair waxing. Oh, sorry, I meant plasma cutting. Anybody seen my glasses? Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for... And value-added options, too, even delivery. Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 9:13 in Edmonton. Quick little segment before we get to our next guest of the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick, and that'll be Broen Houston from the Deseret News, covers the Utah Mammoth, and they're up against it tonight, game number 6 in their series with the Vegas Golden Knights. I saw just a post here, too, from Hockey Canada, and it kind of stinks. It sucks. So Hockey Canada is saying that the national men's team, it's not really the national men's team, will not take part in the Spangler Cup next year. Hockey Canada is saying that their organizing committee basically saying that there was a long-term agreement that expired following the 2025 Spangler Cup. The new agreement to include Team Canada in the 2026 event could not be reached in time. So Canada won't have an entry. It was such a fun tournament to watch, the Spangler Cup, such a rich history with the Canada. And I mean, like the Canadian team that was put together, that's not as long ago as some people think, but how this tournament started, and it's been around, it's the oldest tournament going. And how it started in the 1920s, there were many Canadians that were going to school in England at Oxford. And Oxford actually won the first tournament, I believe, back in the early 20s. But they were the team was composed of many Canadians that were over and studying, their schooling. And then when Canada, started to get into the tournament a little on a regular basis, that's when I think a lot of people really started to watch this tournament. But it's too bad. And you know what? We're going to have Craig McTavish on. We're going to ask him. Mac T was part of the Canadian entry, and I believe Paul Coffey too, in 2019. So we'll maybe talk to Mac T about that and what he thought of the Spangler Cup and his experience there for sure. Text 833-401-1440. Steve Fetter says, hey, KK, the Biz had it best last night. Upper management has failed this team. 2 top players in the world in their prime, and the management never gave them a goalie. Roster mismanagement has been the cause of wasting away prime years of McDavid, Draisaitl. Look at the Habs. They're built the right way. They all seem to like each other, whereas 97-29 look like they're avoiding the losers at school with their current teammates. I don't know about that, Steve, but I mean, that's just the losers at school. Yeah, that's how the big bullies at school here, Steve. But I mean, there have been some good moves by management, but there have been many poor ones, going back a few years now. I mean, you're always going to have misses. The key is to not have as many of them, and they can't be big misses like the Jari trade. Massive miss. You go back to, with the Blues, with the offer sheets, it's tough. I mean, you can't have misses. And then July 1, really for the last couple of years for this team, been misses. Garrett says, yeah, dude, Steve is right. 97-29 look grumpy all year. Well, and that's something we said at the beginning of the show. This team doesn't ever look like it's having fun. I mean, and Chris Knobloch at the start of the year said, the last 2 cup runs, not sure if we enjoyed the whole thing. Year 1, when he took over from Woodcroft, it just happened so fast. They had the 17-game winning streak and another 8. And next thing you know, they're a goal away from winning it all and sending it to overtime. Year 2, it was like, we got to get back. I mean, look at Zach Hyman in the documentary. I know we'll be back. So they haven't never enjoyed the process of enjoying themselves to get to where they want to be and need to be. And that fills your heart with joy and everything. And that's missing here. It's missing. When we come back, Broen Houston will be with us. Broen Houston. I don't know why I said Brogdon. Did I say it twice now too?
I think you said it going into the update at the top, and hey, it's very close up, but I don't know if we've ever had someone named Brogdon on the show before. Great name.
Well, the thing is, I went to school with a guy named Brogdon.
No, you didn't.
Oh yeah, that was his last name though.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it might have been Bogdan.
Now you're thinking of the NBA player.
I don't know. Broen Houston. Sorry, Brogan. Coming up right after the break. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440. AM Radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Would you like to be a part of history for the month of April? I'm kidding. Or as the kids say, bro, I'm joking. Would you like to help us set a record in April? Chill. Still kidding. At Northgate, we aren't trying to set any records or tell you how many vehicles we sell, and we really don't think you'd care. But what you will care about is this. Every dealer has the same costs. Trust me. GM does not have a favorite kid. You get to decide where you buy. 0% financing, a great selection, and of course, great people. Stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
I'm good to go. Good to go.
With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say,
I'm good to go.
No fluff, no fillers, just pure entertainment. Sports 1440 brings the heat
With bold opinions, big personalities, and Edmonton's fiercest fans. This is your turf. This is Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Hey, it's Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care. They may be teeny tiny, but chinch bugs can completely devastate your lawn or garden. If you have yellowing grass that doesn't improve with watering, you may already have them. At Green Drop, we'll identify them, treat them, and help you recover from the damage before it's out of control. Stop chinch bugs cold with Green Drop Lawn Care, Canada's lawn expert since 1979. Find out more and get started at greendrop.com.
Ready to upgrade your ride this spring? Come on down to the Golf Cart People. They're a family-owned and operated business that's been serving the community since '97. Whether you're looking for a brand new or quality pre-owned cart, a rental for a special event, they do that too. The Golf Cart People have a huge selection of parts and accessories, and their expert service team is here to keep you rolling. The Golf Cart People, your one-stop shop for everything golf cart. Visit golfcartpeople.com.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 9:22 in Edmonton, and time now for the game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where the 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express packages have arrived. They've got the 20-inch black aluminum wheels, the Mopar side steps, the body color, bumpers and grille, and the Sport Performance hood. See them now at stalbertdodge.com as we welcome back Broen Houston from the Deseret News in Utah, covers the Mammoth, and it's game number 6 tonight. Hey, good morning, Brogan. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So, hey, what are we looking at for game 6 tonight? What's the buzz in Salt Lake as the Mammoth look to extend this series tonight against Vegas?
Yeah, well, it's definitely a little bit of nerve. You've lost a couple games in overtime recently, and so now you're kind of hanging on the ropes a little bit if you're the Mammoth. But there's still kind of, like you said, a buzz around the city. This is the first playoff action that the Utah professional sports teams have seen in many years now, because the Utah Jazz have been really bad, and so it's really exciting for the people here.
Yeah, maybe just expand on that, around town, like, here in this market, I know you can imagine what it's like in such a hockey feverish place, but I mean, are there, cars going around with the flags and, businesses, everyone involved in this right now?
Yeah, I think definitely the businesses. I think all these restaurants around town are calling to have watch parties, and there's all these different things going on. You definitely see a lot more Mammoth merch around this year than you did last year, for sure. I don't think it's quite as crazy as Edmonton is, maybe during some of these Stanley Cup final runs and stuff. Hockey is still a little bit of a niche thing here,
right.
But it's getting to the point where it's, people are really starting to care about it. And I think as the team grows and, probably makes the playoffs a bunch more times while this core, approaches its prime, I think that's when you'll probably start to see fans really taking off with it and really going crazy.
Well, there sure is.
Into something like Edmonton.
Yeah, sure are some exciting players on the roster for sure. Broen Houston from Deseret News with us on the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. So, I mean, hey, this series could be over in the favor of the Mammoth. They just haven't been able to close things out. And even when they, they're down 3 goals a couple of games ago and come back, what are your thoughts on how they've pushed Vegas and give them everything they can handle? The Golden Knights, everything they can handle, but they just haven't been able to find that last little push to secure a victory so far.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, they've, in all of their losses, they have held a lead in the third period. Like, they're right there in every single game. Like I said, the last 2 losses they lost in overtime. One of them went to double overtime. The other one was a minute away from going to double overtime. Like, they're right there. It's not like they're getting blown away by this Vegas team. But what they haven't been able to do is hold on to that lead in the third period. And so if Utah can figure out how to do that, they'll have success. But, we talk a lot about playoff experience, and both on the ice and behind the bench, Utah is relatively inexperienced in the playoffs. Some of these guys have had like one playoff run. You look at like Krause, Keller, Schmaltz, those guys, they've all had one playoff run, excluding this one. Whereas, that Golden Knights team, like most of these guys have never missed the playoffs or have barely ever missed the playoffs. Lots of them have won the cup, and then they've got John Tortorella behind the bench, and there's all these different factors in it. And I think that really is starting to add up when you get into those type of situations in close playoff games like these. Just things add up, and the physicality and the mental determination, and Vegas knows how to win.
How much did that Game 5 double overtime sting, and how do they rebound, going into Game 6, especially being a shorthanded goal that you give up for the overtime winner?
Yeah, you can definitely assume that nobody was happy about that, both on the team and among the fan base. There's quite a bit of armchair GMing going on Twitter afterwards. Yeah. But it's just something that you gotta roll with the punch and just keep going in the next game. Like, that's something that you can't really game plan for that, right? Like, it was a bad turnover by Mackenzie Weegar, and he knows that. And then it led to a defensive zone face-off for for Vegas to kind of take something, and they made a play off the face-off, and they scored. So as long as, like, if I guess the 2 things that you can look at there are the turnover, and then you got to win that draw in the defensive zone.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like, what can you do? That's not a set play. That's just something that happened. And so, you roll with that punch and you move on to Game 6 here.
Broen Houston from the Deseret News covers the Utah Mammoth, our guest on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. Who's impressed you? Who are some of the young guys on this roster that have impressed you so far in the first 5-6 games of this series?
Yeah, it's got to be that second line.
Yeah.
Logan Cooley, Dylan Gunther, Kyler Yamamoto. You guys know Yamamoto well. He's definitely a workhorse, and he really complements those 2 young guys a lot. And Gunther has a wicked shot. Like, I don't know, you guys, I guess you guys would have seen it in Edmonton when he played there. He's from there as well. Just that, his shot is top 3 in the league, bar none. Like, it's right up there with Ovechkin and Stamkos and, some of those other guys that are known for wiring the puck. And then Logan Cooley, he's kind of emerged as this like villain almost in some of these playoff games. Like, we saw Nick Dowd in Game 1 saying, "I'm going to kill you." maybe a little bit more colorful than that even. You know, and that's because he gets under guys' skin, and he didn't really do that much in the regular season, but you know, he kind of had a little bit of edge, and now we're really starting to see it emerge. And then, you know, he also goes out and scores a couple of nice goals, and you know, it's exciting for Mammoth fans to see that these kids are only 22, 23 years old, right around there. And, you know, you probably have them for another, you know, 10 years of really prime hockey. And so we'll see what they can do with that window.
What have you seen from the power play so far in this series with just the 1 goal for?
Yeah, the 1 goal for and the 2 goals against.
Oh, so yeah, shorties. Yeah.
Vegas has better odds at scoring than Utah does when Vegas takes a penalty. You know, something needs to happen. You know, if we want to get technical for a second here, I really think that Vegas is really focusing on Gunther and Schmaltz on the power play. Like when Utah has a power play, those guys scored just about half of Utah's power play goals this year. Between the two of them, it was 20 out of 46 of their power play goals were scored by those two guys. And so they have a guy covering each of them, and then then it's basically a 3-on-2 for the other 3 guys on the ice. And those 3 guys just have not figured out how to put the puck in the net without distributing it to Gunther or Schmaltz. And so if you can just find a way to get it around those couple of guys, then, you know, I think that's the way that they got to play it.
Yeah. Do you think Gunther's had enough looks, you know, from his spot on the power play?
Yeah, well, he gets the looks, and then they block the shots. Yeah. And like I said, like they're trying to get the puck to him, but Vegas is just on Gunther, like sweat on a monkey, or stink on a monkey, I think is the phrase.
Same thing.
And yeah, he just hasn't gotten a lot of clean looks since the first 2 goals that he scored. Like he scored 2 of those one-timer goals, and then everybody was, and then I guess he scored one last game on a 2-on-1 that was a one-timer, but you know that doesn't really count in the same situation. But yeah, since those first 2 one-timer goals, I think they've really put a focus on, hey, let's tag number 11 and make sure that he can't do that again.
Yeah. What have you thought of Karl Vejmelka between the pipes so far in this series?
Yeah, I think all year long he's been about average. You look at his numbers; they're middle of the pack, both in the regular season and the playoffs. But he plays a lot, and so that's why he has a lot of a lot of wins in the regular season.
Yeah.
But you know, he's a good goaltender. He's nowhere near a superstar goaltender. And so, you know, he's good enough that he can get you there, and he'll, you know, give you average numbers throughout the playoffs. But, you know, you're not looking at prime Andre Vasilevsky here. You're looking at, you know, somebody that is just good enough. And, you know, you look at his contract too, and that's about what he gets paid for. And so it's fine. They do have a really good goaltending prospect named Michael Rabel, who just got to the AHL from college. He was playing in college this whole year, and he just made his professional debut at the end of the season here. And so I think that's kind of who they're banking on, you know, riding once they really kind of get to their prime contention window.
Broen Houston with us on the Kevin Carey Show here on Sports 1440. What have you made of Mackenzie Weegar in this series on the back end?
Yeah, well, I mentioned that one big turnover that led to the double overtime goal last game. But aside from that, like he scored 2 goals already. I think he might also have an assist. So, you know, 3 points through 6 games for a 2-way defenseman, like that's not bad numbers whatsoever. I definitely think he's definitely not the most risk averse guy, I guess you could say. You know, he will make the risky play, and sometimes it turns out, and sometimes it hurts him. And so that's kind of something that, and Sean Jersey is the same way for Utah. And so I think that both of those guys really need to be paired with a stable defensive guy that can kind of cover them when they want to pinch, or when they want to do something that is a little bit riskier. But you know, I love the guy in the locker room. Like he's probably the nicest guy on the team. You know, and will gladly just sit there and chat your ear off, and it's kind of awesome. and obviously he'll describe what is going right and wrong for him as well. So he's a good guy to have around, absolutely, and he's still just kind of learning where he fits in the system, I think, and each game it seems like he's getting better and better. Although there are, still some of those plays like the giveaway in overtime.
Yeah, and that was Kerfoot too on that play right in the corner. The two of them just were not on the same page, I don't think so.
Right.
As far as the Vegas Golden Knights go, when the Big Bear Andre Tournier puts the game plan together, and that Eichel, you know what he's going to bring because he's such a big guy and can win draws. But now almost like Dorofeyev has woken up here, and he had the big hat trick in game number 5. So how do they game plan for this high-end talent, especially on this first line for the Vegas Golden Knights?
Yeah, I can give you a couple guesses. I definitely can't exactly say what Tournier is thinking. He's been really, really cautious to tell us anything. And so, if you listen to any of his interviews, he'll have at least one or two answers where he basically says, I'm not telling you that, or, we'll wait and see, or that kind of thing. But, I think you just got to watch number 16, really. And honestly, Jack Eichel, like he's flown under the radar a lot in this series. And then you check the game sheet after and he has 3 assists. Like he's not doing anything flashy. He's not carrying the puck. He's really just finding quick little passes and finding guys open in the slot. And Dorofeye's really good at, puck on his stick, puck off his stick kind of thing. And so, honestly, I just think you kind of have to give Vegas some of that same medicine that I was talking about earlier, where, they play the numbers and they say, oh, well, Cooley and Gunther have scored most of your power play goals, then let's watch those two guys. And I think that's the same solution that could apply here is, hey, Dorofeyev scored a hat trick last game. He scored a goal in the game before that as well. Let's just make sure that we don't leave this guy open in the slot. And I know that sounds really simple, but when it all comes down to it, hockey's a pretty simple game.
Yeah, it is. And it's guys like us that complicate it, I guess. That's how it works.
That's right.
Hey, Brogan, thanks a lot for this. What's the atmosphere going to be like in the building tonight?
Oh, it's been so cool.
Yeah.
I have not yet been to a playoff game in Edmonton. I was kind of hoping for that for round 2, but it looks like that's not going to happen this time. But it is really, really special. I actually have been meaning to go back and watch it on TV to see if they capture it the same way that it is in person, because it's enough that there were people in tears in the building. Like it's so cool.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch that one tonight. It's been an exciting series for sure. Hopefully the Mammoth can send it back to Vegas for a game number 7. Brogan, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Enjoy tonight's game and hopefully a game 7. We'll take care and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Broen Houston from the Deseret News. And our game of the day brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where the 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express packages are here. Check them out at stalbertdodge.com. When we come back, we'll get to more of your texts, 833-401-1440. And then at 10 o'clock, it's Golfing with the G-Man. We'll talk hockey, too, with Craig McTavish. Edmonton Oiler legend, Western RV legend. We're going to have some fun with it. Straight ahead on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Home ice advantage is real at the rink and on your windows. Novo Blinds is Edmonton's own custom manufacturer, trusted by customers around the city. Factory direct pricing with the fastest turnaround around. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
And a deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you earn points towards
Free McDonald's.
Now that's what I call
a double whammy of deals.
Why does that keep happening? Deals sent right to your door. Check your mailbox for the latest McDonald's mailer loaded with delicious value. For a limited time at participating restaurants in Western Canada.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780 all sevens. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
A Saskatchewan boy who grew up loving and playing sports. At least we think he grew up. Listen to Kevin Karius weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's home for sports. Sports 1440.
Alan Olson Auctions invites you to bid on the unreserved auction for Raymond Halushka of Breton, Alberta. Online bidding is open right now through May 5th at alanolsonauction.com. Items up for sale include a variety of tractors, construction machinery, trucks and trailers, passenger vehicles, RVs, haying, harvest, and tillage equipment, and more. For more information on this sale, call Alan Olson Auctions at 403-843-2747 or visit alanolsonauctions.com today.
Start thinking spring road trips and off-road trips in your new Subaru Crosstrek. Stylish, rugged, and so many features. Standard on every Crosstrek. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, EyeSight driver assist technology, heated seats, and LED steering responsive headlights. Plus, with interest rates from 0.99%, you'll love the affordable weekly payments. No waiting, immediate delivery available. Subaru Crosstrek. Visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 941 in Edmonton. Is that from the request line, Duke?
That's from the Brandon Douglas request line.
Oh, really? You get two today? Yeah. How come you didn't put like Jumpin' Jack Flash requested 6 times?
I played one from Jumpin' Jack. I played when we're going into Brogan there. So excited. Pointer Sisters.
Because usually it's something from the Rolling Stones.
Well, like I said, he has changed his set list, if you want to call it that. But the same set list will last for about 6 months. And he sends it every Friday, and I rotate between each one. I try and get at least one in every Friday, depending how packed the playlist is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little lighter today on the request because everyone is so Oilers-centric rather than music-centric. So, Kev, I'll be honest, as I was going to bed last night, I had a hard time falling asleep. I was so giddy. I was just so happy with what I'd witnessed over the previous couple hours. I was like, I might just make it an entire Brandon Douglas playlist Friday.
Why wouldn't
you?
And
I would pick all the songs.
Why wouldn't you?
You know, just like you can make it any other given day, essentially, but a personal flavor mixed in.
I think that would be a fabulous idea. Just absolutely fabulous. Text 833-401-1440. HVAC Nick says, hey, not an excuse because the Oilers got outplayed, but how many times in the season have the Oilers drawn 0 penalties? You're telling me in Game 6 of the playoffs, Anaheim was perfectly clean all game. Okay, on the subject of penalties, especially when you set the bar for the Nugent-Hopkins hold or whatever, to me, if you're going to call that, you had to call a whole bunch of other penalties last night. That's one. The first penalty is such a gauge of how the game is supposed to go. So they shouldn't have called that one. The other one, the Oilers, there was too many men. And now again, how many too many men on the ice penalties have we seen again? Garbage. To the fact that the Ducks didn't take a penalty last night, I'll say this more so than the officials. I don't think the Oilers forced the hand not near enough to even draw a penalty. How can you not draw a penalty when your life is on the line and you're playing like it's your last breath of air? There wasn't even a time during that game where you saw someone go so hard to an area and have to be hooked, held, whatever, interfered with. They never played hard enough. That's the simple fact. They never played hard enough to draw a penalty last night. That's where I'll go on that one. Ontario Moments texted in a while back, and he said, hey, KK, Holloway and Broberg and trading McLeod were the start of this downfall. Serious organizations wouldn't lose top young prospects. I like Savvy, but McLeod was the exact center they needed, who had just gone to the Stanley Cup final. I replied, listen, I agree with Holloway and McLeod and Holloway and Broberg here. McLeod, I'm not on the same page here with you, Momsy, because I just don't think the Oilers were going to offer him the contract and that he wanted, where he got in Buffalo, and it's $5 million a year. Here's the other thing. He was, and as you say, he's a good third line center. He was never going to be playing in the Oilers' top six moving forward here, ever. They are hoping that Matthew Savoy can do that on a full-time basis next year. And for the most part this year, he did. And he responded with, 18 goals. But there was no way McLeod was going to push into the top six role here. So I still like this trade, but now it's up to Savoy to be a permanent fixture with either Connor or Leon on the top six. And if you're playing with those two guys, you should be scoring 20 goals, hands down. The other thing, too, with Momsy here, Ryan McLeod never got into the high traffic, high danger, high areas as far as the physicality went. That's a simple fact. He would veer off and get out of the way of danger instead of going into it. Savoy battles harder than McLeod did as far as one-on-one battle level for pucks. We didn't see it in the playoffs with Savoy. I get that. He was, when you compare his play and what he did, regular season to postseason, not even close. But it's a learning experience for a guy that is hopefully going to be a guy that's here that, for the better part of a long-term contract, you would think. A longer-term contract. So, Duke, what do you make of that? I mean, and, he's talking about, I get where McLeod was, but to me, this trade had to be made, and I think it was a good trade for the Oilers. It's a good trade for Buffalo, too.
This is one of those spots where you look at, and you can genuinely say it has worked out for both teams. The Sabres got a guy that they needed, right? Someone down the middle that can play some harder minutes, kill penalties and stuff like that, where they were much more skill and finesse-based, right? Yeah. And McLeod has that in his game, right? He's very fast. We know that, and he can play down the middle. I don't really know how you can look at what Savoy accomplished this year and say you don't like it moving forward. I pegged him, Kevin. Let's recall a couple weeks ago as Savoy being a big X factor in the series because he had so much success playing alongside Connor McDavid in the regular season down the stretch in particular. And this is great for the Oilers if now they, gives them the opportunity to balance their lineup. Unfortunately, he looked like a rookie in this series, and a lot of the Ducks young players did not. And now a lot of them have more service, like Beckett Seneca and I guess Tim Washy are the only true rookies they had playing regular minutes, but it was the first playoff games for almost all of them. For Savoy, you have to think of this as a little bit more of a stepping stone, as this season was as a whole, right? The full year in Bakersfield, essentially. Look at how much he improved there. Look at how much he improved over the course of this regular season. It's tough to put such an onus on a young player because what the Ducks did, and it's just one round, that is an anomaly to have your young players, inexperienced players, contribute at that type of level in a playoff setting. Unfortunately, it's the trends show us how Savoy played. That's much more the norm. And he was far from the reason they lost this series. You would have liked to see him have more of an impact, no doubt about it. I think he only had, one assist or something similar over the course of the 6 games.
Yeah.
But, man, I like that. I still like that trade a lot moving forward for the Oilers. Now, yeah, the Holloway and Broberg conversation, that's another one.
Yeah.
That's another one entirely. I don't know.
We only talked about that for about 6 months straight, every day.
And listen, we can go back and check the tapes, check the receipts. I didn't like that at the time. A lot of Oilers fans, hey, don't play revisionist history. You said have fun out the door. Good, have fun playing for a loser organization, getting overpaid. Well, I think the Blues are probably pretty happy with the players they have right now. They got new contracts, all that stuff. So that one, looking back, is certainly one maybe the Oilers might want to do over on.
Well, it's funny, Duke, when you look at the Anaheim roster, and I mean, I don't think anyone in town knows the roster better than you, to be honest with you, that's in the media business, because you watch every Ducks game. But when you're thinking, you got to get some breaks, and you deserve your breaks. And again, I talked about, because you said Jackson Lacombe, that like he was the most impressive player on the Ducks roster, and we agree on that. Then we were throwing out the other names and guys like even Cutter Gauthier. Take away game 1. So in the last 5 games, he's right at the top of the list too. So, but the thing is, I'm talking about, you get a break here and there. Tied for the goal scoring lead in the playoffs for the Ducks, Ryan Poehling.
Yeah.
So he scores the first one yesterday that goes off about 2-3 things, and then
off him and
in the net
trickles past.
Yeah. And then the overtime goal.
Yeah.
That's off Nurse and through the wickets. So he got 4 goals in this series. No one had Poehling on their bingo card to score 4 goals against the Oilers in this series.
And when you look at him as a player, like he really impressed all year long, got rewarded with an extension as a result of it to keep in the fold. And he's a real prototypical, perfect example of a third line center that at times maybe plays in your fourth line as the rest of the team improves. And he was essentially a throw-in on the Trevor Zegers deal, right? It was kind of like Zegers for the 2nd-round pick and then Poehling to get a body going the other way. And hey, Zegers accomplished everything you can ask for and more his first season in Philadelphia. They won a playoff round 2 in very surprise fashion.
Yeah.
There's another spot that I think it's a very win-win trade between these two teams, because Zegers did not fit the mold of what Anaheim wanted to do. Too small, too perimeter. He's taken it to another level with the Flyers. And Poehling, and you get a little draft capital back too. It's been a great reward for the Ducks, even if you did give up on a top 10 pick in the process.
Yeah, back to the texter's point about power plays and power play opportunities. If you look at this series, Anaheim and Edmonton, and compare it to, let's just use 2 other series, for example, and we'll use Minnesota and Dallas, and we'll use the Montreal Canadiens and Tampa Bay Lightning. Those 2 series, intensity level, as far as jump, energy, physicality, everything else, all of those things that you want to talk about, add another 10 adjectives. Compared to this Oilers-Ducks series, give the Oilers a Ducks maybe a 2 or a 3, give these guys a 9 out of 10. And what happens? The penalties and the penalty opportunities are kind of hand in hand. I mean, the Ducks had 16 power play opportunities. The Oilers had 14. Dallas, after game number 6 last night, 25. 25. Minnesota had 25. That's a couple more a game here. Montreal Canadiens, 21. Tampa Bay, 23. And what happens in these games? Everyone's watched these games. Way more physical. Way more stuff that's going on. Way more urgency, desperation, shift to shift than what we saw in this series. 833-401-1440. Text rolling in. As Gary Myers come into the building as we're getting ready for golfing with the G-Man. He's looking good. He's looking sharp. He feels good. Maybe not. I don't know. It's, what, the one thing with Gary this year, Duke, so far in the couple shows that we've had, remember last year and Gary's just terrible misfortune, with the
injuries.
Like he could have been on the Oilers roster
moving lawnmowers around or whatever the hell he was doing.
Missed a step, tore the groin, bent over, hit something else.
Yeah, Gary's coming into this season much healthier.
Yeah.
Freshened.
Nails texts in and says, hey, you fellas probably covered this, but I didn't hear. How do you feel about the Ducks moving forward? Well, how about this, Nails? And I said it right off the hop. Could you imagine for the 5th straight year that the Oilers lose to the eventual Stanley Cup winning team in the playoffs? They did it obviously with Colorado, Vegas, Florida, and now Anaheim. And the other thing that I did mention, and Duke, I think, agreed with it. The only thing, well, I mean, the goaltending has to improve, but the other thing that's only missing, the only other thing that's missing is a third defense pair where a little more reliability. And I think the way things are going right now, these 4 guys can handle it right now, but can they handle it after another dozen games or so? Oh, yeah. We got to do Cam Tate pretty quick here. I better read that off here. Sorry about that, Duke. Cam Tate for a Cam and Eggs, and I'm doing the reading, I guess, on a Friday. This is order number 19. Cam says, I'm going to discuss the Edmonton Oilers later today on the 2-minute warning because obviously the game wasn't over when Cam went to press here. That's about 5:45 today. Welcome to Friends on Friday. And today we're going to start a 4-part series on Little League baseball coaches who came into my life between the ages of 8 to 13 years old. And this morning we're going to talk about George McAvoy. Remember that name, George McAvoy. As a young guy growing up in the Lidwood area, I gave my mom early gray hairs because I love baseball. And I love baseball uniforms. So Mom, bless her heart, bought me a pair of black and white baseball pajamas. Now with cerebral palsy, I played on my knees in our backyard. I pitched, played shortstop, and swung the bat on my knees. And of course, I had to wear my uniform pajamas. But the pajamas, they didn't have a chance. After 2 innings, I had 2 big holes, one in each knee. Mom told one of our neighbors, Mrs. Johnson, about the uniform story. Mrs. Johnson's son, Pat, was playing for a Little League baseball team. Their coach, Mr. McAvoy, lived 3 doors behind us, and Mom asked Mr. McAvoy if I could be the team's mascot. Mr. McAvoy said yes. I was thrilled. He parked my wheelchair at the end of the bench at Optimist Park in West Edmonton. I really enjoyed learning the game. Then one evening, just after supper, there was a knock at the back door. It was Mr. McAvoy with a red and white uniform, the same uniform as my team. I was through the roof with excitement. So was Mom, who said I could keep it on one condition. I didn't wear it when I played baseball in the backyard, which I totally agreed to. Attaboy Tater. That's Cam and Eggs, order number 19. Top of the hour is golfing with the G-Man Gary Meyer for the Country Club Tour, and we'll be joined by former Edmonton Oiler player, coach, chief bottle washer, Craig McTavish. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding, awswelding.ca. Here is the Duke.
Sports 1440 update.
Three games in the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight, all with elimination implications. Tampa Bay will try and keep their season alive. They're in Montreal against the Habs, trailing the best of 7, 3-2. Puck drop scheduled for 5 o'clock. And at 5:30, Sabres try to punch their ticket to round number 2 in Boston against the Bruins. They lead that series 3-2. And the Vegas Golden Knights on the road in Salt Lake City against the Utah Mammoth. Puck drop there just after 8 o'clock. Vegas currently touting a 3-2 series lead. U18 World Championships this morning. Slovakia blanked Latvia 1-0 to punch their ticket through to the gold medal game as the host nation. And coming up at 11 o'clock, the Czechs and Swedes will duke it out for the final spot in the gold medal contest. In the association tonight, 3 playoff games, including the Raptors, back on home court where they're 2-0 so far this post-season. Tip-off at 5:30 as they'll try and keep their year alive, trailing the Cavaliers in the best of 7, 3-2. Orlando, surprisingly, leading Detroit 3-2. They're at home, a tip-off at 5 o'clock, trying to get into round number 2. And the LA Lakers leading the Houston Rockets 3-2 in the best of 7, tip-off at 7:30 from Texas. In the majors today, full slate of games, including the Blue Jays, continuing their set in Minnesota against the Twins. It'll be a 6:10 scheduled first pitch with Patrick Corbin on the mound for Toronto up against Simeon Woods Richardson countering for Minnesota. Coming up in hour 4 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by longtime golf pro Gary Meyer, as well as 4-time Stanley Cup champion, former Oilers player, coach, and general manager Craig McTavish. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
Your protein drink should work as hard as you do. That's why Booster Juice is hitting the gym harder than ever, brother. Meet your new gym buddies, the Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers. 2 new ripped and refreshing menu options that bench some serious protein. Perfect for pre or post workout. Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers taste like a motivation. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
A lot of you love hockey season. But when it comes to construction season, you're not as excited unless you work for GS Construction. It's true. As one season is winding down, ours is winding up with all sorts of great projects to make the city we live in better. And our team is hiring. GS Construction is scouting for pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. So if you want to score a great job, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Sherwood Honda is home of the GOAT. That's your greatest offer all time. And they have plenty of pre-owned GOATs that they got on a trade. Every used vehicle they sell goes through a 182-point inspection and comes with a vehicle history report. Because peace of mind is an essential part of getting your GOAT. And Sherwood Honda sure would want you to buy with complete confidence.
Whether you're refinancing or buying your first home, mortgages are easier with help from a neighbor. At Vision Credit Union, you get face-to-face guidance from local lenders who know the market because, well, they live here too. They'll look at your whole financial picture with practical advice for payments, renewals, refinancing, and what makes sense long-term. Get a more neighborly mortgage. Contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca.
You're listening to Sports 1440 and watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Sports 24/7. We are Sports 1440.
All right. Welcome back to the big program. 10:02 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you. It's a Friday. That means it's Playlist Friday, Feel Good Friday. Tough to feel good about things around town after last night, but we'll move on. And that means it's golfing with the G-Man, Gary Meyer, for the Country Club Tour. And have to mention that Goose Hummock, part of the Country Club Tour, it's opening up on Sunday, and our good buddy Dave Nelson has moved from Whitetail to Goose Hummock, and he's taken over things there. And the driving range opens up tomorrow at Goose Hummock, and the course is open on Sunday. So if you want to check out the Goose, and man, it's a tough course. It's bring some balls. That's the way it goes. But Check out the Country Club Tour at countryclubtour.com. Give them a call, 780-408-8687, as we welcome in the G-Man, Gary Meyer. Good morning, Gary.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Last night we were out doing the Hockey Helps the Homeless.
Yeah. Was it good?
It was good, real good. Yeah. The people that were in charge, Ron and Linda Lowe and their friends, they were honored last night because they were there for 13 years. Yeah. And I mean, they brought so many players out. And anyway, they're out doing that. We did the auction there last night. My condolences to the Meyer family. I've got to pick them up on Saturday. No, this is serious. Sorry, Denise's mother passed away.
Oh, too bad.
Ashley's grandma. Yeah, so I'll be picking them up tomorrow. Yeah, not good.
Best to Ashley and everyone.
Yeah, sad. And just a shout out to Big Fish, Sid Kneppel, good buddy of mine. We cleaned up on the fishing one time. We were out at where the heck? Oh, Campbell River.
Okay.
We caught the most. We caught the biggest. We were the best.
He's
going through a
salmon.
Yep. He's going through a little bit of a challenge. So I'm going to stop and see him. And listen now, Beck's auction online. There is a hockey museum that Brian McFarlane had.
Right.
It's been kind of liquidated down. So if you want to see some original 6 historical stuff, go to Beck's auction. Just punch in Beck's auction, hockey museum. I mean, there's old equipment, there's skates, there's skate blades, and pictures from the 1900s, and some great pictures there of Foster Hewitt. So if you're thinking of doing a man cave or something like that, or sprucing up your garage,
right,
stuff is going pretty well priced on it right now. But give it a look when you're there.
Well, I mean, you love the history of the game.
Yep.
No one knows more about 1972 than Gary Meyer.
Yeah, unimportant old stuff. Yeah, kind of like myself. So they're at the Blue Monster. That's a Trump National Golf Course down in Doral. Yeah, it's pretty short. They're only playing it from 7,590 yards.
Oh, man.
Unbelievable.
That's a beast, eh?
Yeah. But we got a Canadian in there tight. Nick Taylor's -7.
We got an update here. As Gary said, it's the Cadillac Championship at Trump National Doral, the Blue Monster course, right?
Yep.
Nick Taylor is through 9. He's at -9 right now.
Oh, picked up too.
And also after an opening round 74, get this, our buddy Sudarshan Yalamarahu.
Yeah.
Who again, this is a guy started out in Winnipeg, moved out to Toronto area, won the Ontario Amateur at 16 or something like that, 17. Never taken a lesson, never had a coach, never went to college. He is 9 under through 16 today.
Whew.
He's at 7 under par. He's T3.
Yeah, there's another guy that doesn't know how tough the game is.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. So Nick Taylor.
What's his last name again?
Yalamarahu.
Oh.
It's easy. Actually, it's easier the
well, I always think of Benjamin. I think you're a
Netanyahu.
Yeah, kind of a Yahoo.
Yahoo. Yeah. But Sudarshan Yalamarahu shot a 74 yesterday. He's playing 17 right now, and he's at 7 under for the tournament. Cam Young, yet to tee off, shot a 64 yesterday. So,
beautiful.
He's going to be in the mix there for
Love
sure.
that pause at the top.
Oh, yeah, that little pause.
So Spieth, yeah, I know Jordan Spieth was right there.
He tees off at 12:25 today, shot a 65 yesterday.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a hell of a leaderboard. It's a hell of a tournament, too.
So I sat last night with Doug Hicks.
Okay.
And he was talking about playing one of the golf courses, and I forget which one. Anyway, he said, I go out and play this golf course. He said, I shoot 88. He said, and I'm watching shortly after that, the women's tour is there. He said, they're playing from tees a little longer than what I played. He said, and Lydia Cole, I think it was.
Okay.
Shoots 60. He said, she beats me by 28. I said, yeah, she was using her handicap. So Dixie was a little dejected. But he's had 2 rounds in, so he's
fine, yeah. I saw him the other day at the game, and he said he was getting out right away here. Yep. So Doug Hicks, one of the all-time good guys in town, and he's always doing stuff with the alumni too, and one of the guys that settled in here. And and even like for you, Gary, you've been with the alumni for decades here and been pretty close to so many guys that had success winning cups, and you know how difficult it is. And then like they've lost as well.
Yeah, sure.
And you know, that's how the city feels today. You know, it's just a pit in your stomach kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Well, that's, that's sports, and we take it so personal. It's in our DNA. Hockey it's part of us.
Yeah.
And we feel it. I mean, nobody died and we didn't lose the war. So, I mean, there's going to be a next year. And they always say it's the ultimate game. Well, if it's the ultimate game, how come they're playing it again next year? So
I think too, like everyone talks about injuries, and we actually had a texter when we were going to ask Mac T that about injuries, and maybe when he was in 06, how many injuries they had, and even when he was playing. But I think of because it was on this day in Oilers history, yesterday or the day before, in 1991, Esa Tikkanen scored the overtime winner against Calgary to move the Oilers on to the next round. Now, the goal is great, but watch Mark Messier come off the bench to go celebrate. So before Messier can even get off the bench, the whole team is already in the corner celebrating.
Yeah.
Messier gets up off the bench and kind of curls around and can barely skate to where the celebration is. If people want to go look at that video, now and then they got another series yet.
Yeah.
I think,
Well, I never saw anybody that did not want to lose anything more than him. I mean, we spent time out at the farm at Morrow's and stuff like that. I don't care what you were doing. Skidooing, water skiing, whatever those guys were doing. I mean, hitting golf balls, playing basketball. I mean, the compete in that guy was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And that's how he dragged guys in.
Or threatened to kill him. There's that.
That's fair too.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few of the stories where, it's like the chokehold around, pushing a guy up against the wall. Either you are on board or you're, like you say.
Yeah, you're either in or in the way.
You're going, to use lack of a better term from Yellowstone, we're going to take a little drive to the train station.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you wouldn't want that.
No.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather have Sammy dragging me out behind the barn. Oof.
Oh, but still, yeah, some great stories that we'll visit with Mac T. And I mean, even while we were at Toast of the Town, and you were talking to Mac T for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I think he was going to get a bite to eat or whatever. So
Interesting guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 4 Stanley Cups, 3 here, 1 in New York. The coaching that he did, I want to ask him a little bit about what it was like when he went to Russia. He wasn't there very long, but I mean, what a culture shock.
Yeah. The other thing too that came up, and I know you're a big fan of it, the Spangler Cup.
Right. Yeah.
So, but Canada is not going to go to the Spangler Cup next year. There's Hockey Canada announced it this morning.
Why is that?
I don't know. They said they couldn't get a deal done. They
Deal.
Well, yeah. I don't know. It would have to be someone. You'd have to ask someone from Hockey Canada. But Mac T was at the Spangler Cup in like 6 years ago, or 2019, 7. And that was with, I think Paul Coffey was there too.
Yeah.
And Canada won.
That's a fact.
So
they've got a long list of winning the Spangler.
Yeah. Well, we talked about the history of the tournament, and lots about it. The tournament started in the 1920s. It was Dr. Carl Spangler. But Oxford University won the very first tournament. And the reason why it holds such a significant connection to Canada, because they were all Canadians over there studying at Oxford. They entered the team.
Right.
They entered the team in the Spangler Cup and win it.
And that's in Davos, Switzerland, right?
Davos, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting that they're not sending a team.
There was an announcement, and they just said, I'm sure what happens is, like, the committee in Davos says, all right, here's what we're doing. You are going to be playing on a 3-year, contract or whatever. We'll have an entry for your team, whether it be, whatever, a team from Finland, Sweden, whatever that comes in there to play, Switzerland, whatever. Davos is always in.
Yeah. Well, that's,
they had the American college kids this year.
Really?
Yeah. And Guy Godowski was the coach from Edmonton. He's at Penn State now. And they brought in, and they lost in the final.
Penn State.
21-year-old college kids.
I went to Penn State to visit a friend there, and I couldn't believe the size of the stadium. You walk in, you go, oh, and there's only, I don't know, what is there, 200 or 2,500 people living there, or 25,000 living in State College.
The football stadium?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Holy smoke. I mean, the place is,
yeah. Well, and then what happened is the Pegula family That's the family that owns the Sabres and Bills.
Right.
So they're Penn State alumnus and alumni. They built the hockey facility.
Yeah.
So
I skated there.
Did you really?
Yeah, I had my skates there. Yeah, skated there. Yeah,
So,
nice facility.
Guy Godowski's the head coach. He's been there for decades.
Oh, the Spangler. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
How about
so
that?
too
Hey,
bad.
I was looking at, now if I said how much do you think Ted Scott, who caddied for Scotty Scheifler last year, 2025, how much money do you think his caddy slipped into his jeans when the season was over?
$4 million.
$4 million.
Yeah.
Half of that.
$2 million.
$2 million. Yeah, he's a caddy.
I know.
He's not his financial analyst. Jeez. Carry the bag, shut up. Yeah. Like Danny Halderson.
What's your line? Yeah. What is
Danny
it?
Halderson.
Yeah.
Oh, Daryl tells his story. It's so good. Danny's got his caddy is standing, leaning on his bag, right? Arms over the top. And he's hit this shot at the Klondike Classic out at the ranch.
The ranch. Yeah, the ranch.
Anyway, he hits the shot and it's hanging over the water, and Danny's leaning a little bit, and the ball's just anyway, it hits the water, and his caddy goes, splash. Danny said to him, shut up and carry the bag.
Yeah. And what's the caddy line? It's show up, keep up,
and shut up. Yeah.
Yeah.
You read greens? There's nothing written on there. Yeah. Hey, I found a quarter. Jeez.
It's golfing with the G-Man for the Country Club Tour. And again, Goose Hummock, part of the CCT, is opening up on Sunday, driving range tomorrow when we come back. Craig McTavish, lover of the golf game, great hockey player when he played, great coach, the whole bit. He's going to join us when we come back. After the break, Kevin Karius, Gary Meyer, it's Duke of Delburne, and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
And a deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or on the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you earn points towards
free McDonald's.
Now that's what I call
a double whammy of deals.
Why does that keep happening? Deals sent right to your door. Check your mailbox for the latest McDonald's mailer loaded with delicious value. For a limited time at participating restaurants in Western Canada.
Mr. Rooter gets attacked by a Canada goose.
Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Rooter from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Rooter. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
For a plumber who does whatever it takes, Mr. Rooter.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well. Restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
You don't just need property services. You need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Greger for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Spring savings at Pet Value. Save $10 on select dry dog food from Go, Solutions, and Origin Amazing Grains. Shop your local Pet Value and petvalue.ca.
Alberta runs on hard work and high performance. Titan Supply has the products, knowledge, and service to ensure that performance. Now, they're part of Benmore, a Canadian company delivering lifting and securement solutions across the country. From designing and manufacturing to delivering lifting slings, securement products, crane cable, and more. They're built to take on the toughest jobs. Titan Supply and Benmore, stronger together. Visit ben-mor.com.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on now. Get a big deal on a 2026 F-150 STX with Black Appearance Package. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Canadian Tire's Big Spring Tire Sale is back. Save up to 25% on quality tire brands including Continental, Michelin, Motomaster, and Pirelli until May 21st. Conditions apply. Details online.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
Did a big program, 10:20 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick with you, along with Gary Meyer golfing with the G-Man for the Country Club Tour. And again, Goose Hummock opening up on Sunday. They've got all the club fittings going on and various things. And to be honest with you, I think people are happy to get out of
they're
the
busting
simulators because, I mean, their sims were just packed. Even last week, on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday was terrible. Well, Tuesday was better.
Yeah, it was drifting. Guys only played 9. Yeah. Oof. I went by Mill Woods yesterday and there was, full blast. There was carts going everywhere.
It's that time of the year where people are just itching to get out. I just texted Mac T too.
We're late.
You never know what he's doing right now.
Well, he was at the Toast.
He was there last.
Now, I wonder if maybe he wasn't playing, was he?
Today? Well, I texted him on Wednesday and he said, yeah, you just got to mention the Western RV commercials and I'll come on.
Oh, yeah. Those
aren't they?
Those are gems. I would think Academy Awards are probably, going to be in the mix this year for those guys. Yeah, him and Bucky were there. I think maybe they're going out. I don't want to say anything.
You think they're playing right now?
I think
they
might
Mac
be.
T is stiffing us here or what?
Well, he might be. I mean, they were there, and I'm thinking, well, he can still play.
If he forgot.
He could. Well, he's going to be 68 this year. When you look at him and 60? You go, 68, and I look at him and go, oh, Mac T, what happened? Holy smoke! I mean, I look rough enough. I'm going to be 70, but 68. Holy smoke! And he ain't shooting his age. I can tell you that.
Oh man. I don't know. What is Mac T's handicap? Do you know?
I don't know. He's probably.
He just texted me now. I think Duke, you can give him a ring. Give him another ring. So
did he just wake up?
He says, call me right now.
Okay.
Call me right now. So Duke's going to get him on. Getting him on the horn. Here's the release from Hockey Canada, Gary. Yeah. Hockey Canada and Spangler Cup organization announced that Team Canada will not participate. Their long-term agreement expired last year. And they were not able to get a new one reached in time. Yeah.
Couldn't get one done in time. Like,
that doesn't make sense.
No. Yeah. Oh, we were sitting around and we forgot. Give me a break.
Exactly.
It's not like they're playing 24, every day.
Yes. They're maybe drinking 24 every day.
Speaking of drinking, let's Craig McTavish.
Let's bring in Mac T, Craig McTavish. Morning, Mac T, here with Kevin Karius and Gary Meyer. Golfing with the G-Man here on a Friday, Sports 1440. Thanks for coming on, big guy.
Oh, condolences, Kevin, for having to spend that amount of time with Mr. Meyer.
You know, I saw you last night with Bucky. There's rumors. You don't want to say anything, but you and Bucky seem to be together quite a bit. So, and you're going to be 68 this year. What's that all about? I mean, those are hard years. Holy smoke!
Not really. I'm actually pretty fit and in good shape and looking after myself. Unlike you.
Well, you might want to maybe think about getting a mirror. Jeez.
Have you seen yourself lately?
Yeah.
Like, you got to go from gig to gig with that same old auctioneer skit that I've seen 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Every time I see you up there, I get nausea.
I know. Well, I'm prepared to do it long enough that you're going to finally figure it out. You know, I know one thing.
I figured it out, Gary.
Yeah. I've never seen your hand go up, not once. No, just drive it right back in your pocket there. You know, you make Doug Hicks look like a millionaire.
Yeah, nothing you're selling has any value to anything I want to buy. Let me tell you.
Well,
a fishing trip with Gary Meyer to the North Saskatchewan. Let's start the bid at 5,000.
Yeah, and we're gonna be in a 14-foot aluminum boat. Yeah. And I'm making the sandwiches.
Oh God! Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know, a lot of people don't know this, that with Craig, I mean, he played all those years without a helmet. He only started he's had to wear a helmet now since he's been playing golf with Daryl McDonald. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, we have. Well, we digress.
Yes,
what do we want to talk about?
Oh, no. I don't know. You know what? We're going to talk golf. We're going to talk everything. I want to talk. Gary's got some questions about Russia for you. I want to talk a little Spangler Cup because there was an announcement today that Canada's not going next year and everything else. But we got to get your thoughts on the Oilers and what you saw in this series. Everyone knows you do the intermissions on Sportsnet at times, over the course of the year. So, I mean, what'd you think of the year, and was the playoff just almost like a microcosm of how the season went, Mac T?
Well, firstly, you didn't tell me this was going to be an hour-and-a-half show.
Yeah.
It's only 20 minutes.
Are you going to do songs from your album, Mac T?
Yeah, your album. Tell me that joke again about the less hair, the more hair you lose, the more. What is it again, Gary? Yeah. I've only heard it 100 times.
Yeah, I'll explain it to you next time.
Yeah,
I'll draw some pictures.
You know, I completely understand it. I don't believe it, but I understand it.
Oh.
But yeah, the Oilers. I think Connor described it perfectly. You know, they've been a mediocre team all year with high expectations, and the better team quite clearly won in this series. And coming in, I thought Anaheim was a really good opponent for us. They were loose, and I thought, our superstars would outplay their developing superstars, and that really wasn't the case either. It's really the first time that I can remember where the other team's top line was more effective than our top line or two. And, that's been the recipe for success for the Oilers throughout the last couple of years, with our high-end stuff quite consistently outplaying the other team's high-end stuff. And that didn't happen here. But, we can't lose sight of the fact that we're two-time Western Conference champions. We've had a really good run this year. We didn't seem like we had the depth from the outset, and that the high-end stuff wasn't able to carry our lack of depth through this playoff series. And it'll be really interesting to me going into the next round when Anaheim plays, either Vegas, looks like probably Vegas, but maybe Utah, whether the top-end Anaheim players were that good, or whether it was our defensive game was that deficient. I mean, it's probably somewhere in between, but which side of that explanation would be the greatest? Is it the fact that we couldn't defend. I mean, they came through the neutral zone super fast and hit our blue line with a lot of speed in most of the games. And my old coach, or one of my old coaches, Sean Macko, used to tell me that, you know, the most important zone in hockey was the neutral zone. And I mean, that's where you develop your speed and, you know, you hit the attacking blue line with speed and back our defense off. And then our defensive zone coverage, they had the puck in our zone a lot and won a lot of those 50-50 battles. But I mean, it's probably good that we get a bit of a break and we can reboot and go back at it again next year with hopefully some changes over the off season.
Craig McTavish with us here on Sports 1440. Kevin Karius, Gary Meyer on a Friday from our text line. Mac T for you from Nick M. I'd like to know if any of Mac T's Stanley Cup winning teams as a player had as many injuries, or even the 2006 team that he coached, as it seemed that the Oilers were dealing with. And then how did you deal with that?
Well, I don't remember us ever having that many injuries on any of our Stanley Cup championship teams. I think, you know, that's a big part of having success, is getting through the playoffs with a healthy group and, you know, some depth on defense. But, you know, quite clearly that was a mitigating factor on how Anaheim's top couple lines could outplay our top couple lines. Is, you know, I think they were very well coached. They had a great game plan. You have Joel Quenneville, who has, you know, as much or more experience than anybody in the history of the game. And then you combine that with, you know, Ryan McGill, who's got a lot of experience at this level, and Jay Woodcroft, who knows the Oilers better than probably anybody. And, you know, we, you know, counted on, I would imagine, largely from Joel Quenneville to try and implement a system and some tactics that were able to slow Connor down through the neutral zone. And that's the one thing that I was surprised about in this series, is that they were that good against Connor defensively. But you have to give their coaching staff a lot of credit. And the other thing I'll say about their coaching staff, I mean, when you look at Jacob Trouba, I mean, he played fantastic in this series. And I mean, he's always kind of been a guy that had all the physical tools, but was at times prone to turn the puck over, and all that stuff, you know, went away. And I mean, you give the coaching staff a lot of credit for that too, as well.
Yeah. When you're talking about coaching, Mac T, this goes back a little ways, but you go over to Russia and you coach with the Lokomotiv. Little bit about that. I mean, that's got to be a culture shock, number one.
Actually, it wasn't bad. I didn't mind the experience over there. Like, I like the Russian people. Yaroslavl is, you know, a smaller industrial blue-collar town, and the people are super passionate about hockey. Hartley's there coaching Yaroslavl now. They won the championship finally. They hadn't won one, but they won the championship finally last year, and the whole coaching staff left. I mean, normally the guy that runs it over there, Yuri Yakovlev, he's been there forever. He's quick to fire coaches, as we know. And, but, you know, they win the championship and all of the coaches left. And then so he brought in Bob Hartley and Mike Polino, who was my assistant when I was over there. He came back, and they're, I think, in the finals right now again. So, I mean, my experience there, you know, thankfully it was at the end of my coaching career, because, you know, the pressure was incredible. I used to, you know, if we lost a game, or God forbid 2 games in a row, there'd be a big black stretch limo on the road to pick me up and take me over to another hotel where I'd meet Yuri Yakovlev and the translator. And it always started with the same question: Craig, would you like a coffee? Yeah, sure. And then it'd get to the meat of why I was there. What happened? What's wrong? You got to grab these Russian players by the throat. It's the only thing they understand. And, it really wasn't my style as a coach, but the experience over there was good. And the Yakovlev, who, was hard to work for, I had respect for, because he treated the players well. I'm going on and on here, but that was the city where the plane went down, with Brad McCrimmon was on it, and
Pavel Dimitra,
Alexander Karpatsov, who I played with, Pavel Dimitra, who I played with too as well. And Yakovlev was running the team at the time. Obviously, he wasn't on the plane, but Putin came in to the memorial service and asked Yakovlev what he could do for them to try and help, mitigate the tragedy. And Yakovlev said, I'd like a world-class hockey facility where we can develop our youth and develop players in our community, in our town. And he did it. He put a big facility there, and sure enough, there's a lot of players playing in the NHL now as a result of that tragedy. And I give Yakovlev a lot of credit for that.
Craig McTavish with us on Sports 1440. Hockey Canada announced that they won't be sending a team to the Spangler Cup next year, which is too bad, surprising as well. But you were there in 2019, and you won the Davos and won in Davos and won the Spangler Cup, and you had Paul Coffey on your staff. Just maybe touch on that experience.
We had a great time. How couldn't you? We had Sean Burke, who was the manager, we had a powerhouse over there. We had a couple guys. Christopher Stieg was at the end of his career. I'm not even sure. He might have played in Europe that year, but we had him. He came over. We had Scotty Upshaw that came over. And Sean Burke did an amazing job. We had Misha Donskop, Paul Coffey, and I. And we had an unbelievable time over there. It was a great experience. Koff and I had a lot of fun, which you do when you win, but we really mopped up everybody. And, that made it a great experience. I don't think they've won since then, but I don't know whether that has anything to do with them not sending a team over. I doubt it, but I would imagine it's a cost to Hockey Canada that they couldn't recoup, and that's why they didn't want to send a team over. But it's too bad, because it really was a great experience for the players, and it's right over Christmas time, so all the families are there, and it goes right through into the last game is New Year's Eve. So, I've been over there a few times over the years, over the many years, and as Gary has pointed out, I've lived a long life, but
and prosperous.
Yeah. Well, I've enjoyed my time over there and with Hockey Canada. And Misha Donskop, who I think is, I think he's in Dallas right now, but he did an amazing job too for us. He had all the technical expertise that, in terms of working the computers, and he could put together a meeting in half an hour that'd take me 3 hours to do. And Koff was maybe worse than me. Maybe it was a tie. I don't know. But it was, it was a great experience over there. I loved it.
Yeah. Now, have you, I know you've got a good friend down in California and you go down and play a lot of golf. Are you revved up? Are you ready? Is the Royal Mayfair ready for your game this year?
Well, that's a good question. I got out yesterday to Lewis Estates with guys that you know well, Finley Ma, Timmy Melton, and Johnny Hokinson, who mopped us all up. But Yeah. It was a beautiful day out there. I think the Mayfair's going to open up in another week or so, and we'll be back in action.
Yeah.
Daryl McDonald. The season never really starts till Daryl McDonald gets back from Arizona.
Yeah, it's like the Swallows coming back to Capistrano. It's such a beautiful
That's
thing.
right.
You know. Yeah, that's when you strap on the helmets and start ducking.
Yeah.
Here he comes. It'll be a beautiful thing. Well, I figured you guys were playing yesterday because I did see the Loomis trucks going out that way. So,
Well, that's Finley.
Yeah.
Finley Maw, yeah.
Finley Maw's the only guy that I know that's, where was he born? Wasn't he born in like Brooks or somewhere like that? And then
he's from Kindersley, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And he speaks like, he acts like he can't speak English.
Oh, man.
But I'll tell you, when he's collecting money, his English is good. But, when it's the other way, he doesn't quite understand now.
Yeah, he's so much fun to play with. You don't even care at the end of the day how much you got to pay him.
Hey, when did you take up golf, Mac? Like, when were some of your early memories of how you got into the game?
Oh, when I was young back home in London, Ontario, we played. I'd be, 14, 15. Mm-hmm. Wanted to play left-handed because I shot left-handed in hockey, but back in those days, as Gary would remember, that you didn't have the availability of the left-handed clubs that you do today, and we all had to play righty.
That's exactly it. I was the same way, and I'm sure that's the reason why I wasn't on the tour. So I'm thinking of trying to figure out
the reason we both weren't any good. Or you were pretty good, but I never was. But I'm not getting any worse.
Yeah.
And
I know I'm not getting any better.
No, neither am I. That's all you can hope for at my age.
Did you get a chance to play the London Hunt Golf Club very much?
I have played there once or twice, but that was well on the opposite side of the tracks from where my house was located, Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Craig Simpson would have played there a lot.
Oh, okay. Oh,
he was on the right side of the track. I was on the wrong side.
Right. So, he was with.
We used to pound on those guys mercilessly.
Do you have some favorite courses, Mac T? That in your travels, wherever that you've liked to tee it up at?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love Pebble Beach. I've had the pleasure of playing or the privilege of playing there a few times. And everybody asks you what your favorite course is. And I never really had a definitive answer till I played there. And I just love it there. I love Gretz's course that he was a member at for many years, Sherwood. Mm-hmm. Have you played there, Gary?
Yeah. I played there with, Jarrett Stoll set it up for Lyle Kurtz and I think it's the first or the second hole. There's a great big huge place. Looks like the Clampett's place on Beverly Hillbillies. And I said to the caddy, I said, "Wow, whose place is that?" He said, "That's the guy that invented pizza pockets."
Oh yeah. No, there's a cast of characters out there. I remember playing with Wayne one time there, and we're on a par 5, and he said, I bet you, a long par 5. He said, "I bet you I can get home in 2. You're on." And then he hits a pretty good drive down the middle and chips it into his backyard.
That's beautiful.
That's a great get home in 2. Yeah.
Now, did you play with Tiger at Sherwood? Is that where you guys played?
No, we played with Tiger at Rio Seco in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
And this was this is at the height of Tiger's powers back in the day. But yeah, that was memorable. Kevin Lowe and Wayne and Tiger and I.
Yeah.
Well, did you not win the tee on one hole?
Yeah, because Tiger sculled one out of I made a bogey and he made a double.
Whoa.
But, yeah.
Oh.
It was a fun day, but it was cold, blustery day at Rio Seco, and Tiger obviously impatient, Wayne, and we're bopping around from hole to hole, and just the look on people's faces when they see not us, but Tiger and Wayne in the same car driving driving by to go to another hole. But his coach was Butch Harmon at that time.
Right.
And Butch worked out of Real Seca. And so we stopped and met Tiger with Butch, and Butch was a super funny guy and had a lot of outtakes and so forth that he had assembled over the years from teaching people and hitting the balls off the garage. And he was a real interesting character, that Butch Harmon. But yeah, that was a great one. And then the other couple courses that I like are, I played the Bridges in Rancho Santa Fe a few times over the last couple of years when I go to Carlsbad, and that is spectacular. I love that course down there. Torrey Pines, I love to play down there.
Yeah. How did you like Shadow Creek?
Shadow Creek, I only played once. I loved it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
I thought it was fantastic. We played Cascada more.
Yeah,
but which is nice too. But
well, you're up a lot higher up at Cascada than you are. I mean, because you're down below, way down below it.
Yeah, the palm trees, and Shadow Creek was really a lot of fun. But I love the courses here in Kananaskis. I went up there last year and played Kananaskis. I played Stewart Creek, which I love. I mean, Jasper Park Lodge was always one of my favorites, and it's a different course now after the fires, but I wouldn't say it's you'd think it'd be a lot worse, but it's not. You can see lakes that you've never seen before on that course. But I always love to play up there. So there are a lot of Royal Mayfair I'm a member at. I love here. It's lots of fun, lots of good golf around Edmonton. People don't understand, how beautiful it is here in the city in the summer. It's just the River Valley is spectacular. The city's done a great job developing that. I just love getting down in the River Valley, and it's one year we had rookie camp and development camp. So we had all these. No, I think it was rookie camp in September, and I always thought people, the hockey players. I mean, we were so bad for so long that players never really saw the leaves on the trees. And so I wanted to make sure that the players the young guys got a good visual of what the city looks like in its grandeur. And so we had all the young guys from development camp staying out at Fort Edmonton at the Selkirk. And then we had bikes. I've still got the picture, and Darnell Nurse was there, Connor was there, and we'd ride from Fort Edmonton to Northlands, Rexall, and we're going over Quesnel Bridge and going through Emily Murphy Park, getting down, and Connor, of course, I don't know these guys; they don't know how to ride a bike. And Connor's kind of at the back, and I'm at the back, and I go, well, we got to pick it up a little bit. We're losing pace. So Connor starts pedaling pretty hard, and then, I forgot about this hairpin turn, and Connor goes into the wall and kind of screws up his shoulder a little bit.
Oh, good.
That was almost my last day on the job. At that point, I was working for Peter Chiarelli, and that almost ended it. And that's the first time I've ever seen his temper. But he was 18 at the time.
And, wasn't there one Mac T as well when you guys were on the bikes in JPL, and you were the only guy that was wearing a helmet, which was ironic, a bike helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't ever remember wearing one, but I might have. I remember Charlie, my buddy Charlie. Yeah. Charlie Huddy went over the bars when he saw an elk in the path, because we used to have the bikes. We'd go to JPL for team building just before the season started, and everybody would have a bike from JPL, and the players would all leave in the morning and bike through the path into town and go to the rink for practice. And I used to love that. But one time Charlie and I were biking back, and there was there was an elk on the trail, and Charlie hit the brakes and went over the top of his bars and blew his AC joint out of his shoulder. And then another time, we were Kenny Lowe and Harrison, Daryl's and Renee's son, and I were biking, and so I didn't have a helmet on. Kenny did, and of course Harrison did. And there's a group of cyclists coming the other way, and somebody yelled something to me like, "Put a friggin' helmet on." And so Kenny started laughing, and he kind of came to a stop, but his helmet, where the ear straps, he hit his kind of just brushed his head against the tree, and the ear straps came up and pretty much severed his ear from his head. And so we're going across the bridge. We pass the highway. We're biking back into the lodge, and Kenny pulls me aside and says, stops and says, "I might need a little bit of a medical assessment." And yeah, sure, Kenny. And I look at his ear, and his ear is virtually, right opposite his head, and I almost threw up.
Oh.
and so luckily, Harrison always had security on not far away, so we had them grab Kenny and take him to the hospital. They bandaged him up and sent him back to Edmonton. But yeah, maybe it wasn't the best idea I had with the players and the biking. We had a few spills, but generally had a pretty good time.
Hey, Mac T, thanks for sharing some stories about Oilers and your career and golf. I'm sure we'll get out and hit it sometime this summer. Really appreciate it. And thanks for coming in my tournament for 20 years every time I ask you to. Appreciate it.
No problem. Always a pleasure to help you out. Gary, well, no, always good to see Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
community
exactly.
For us.
If you get the chance.
Not well, but he does a lot in the community.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm getting the last word in. I'm hanging up now. You
Attaboy.
can start me after I get off.
Yeah,
all right,
we'll go. Yeah, we gotta.
Thanks, Mick.
We gotta queue up the Western
Yeah, see
RV
you,
commercials
Gary.
anyway. So appreciate it.
Western RV, yep. Get all your equipment at Western RV.
Thanks, Mac
Says
D.
Kelly Buckberger. Bye, guys.
Thanks, buddy. Craig McTavish. Oh man, if you want to have a beer, tell some stories and listen to some stories.
Just a great human being,
That's your
all
guy.
the way around.
That's your guy.
And the stuff like with Cam Tate. I mean, he does stuff with
For
Cam.
sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
boy, oh boy.
That
Like I
people
told
don't know.
Tate,
Yeah.
I said, Cam, the next time I'm taking you out to the middle of a dirt field and leaving you for dead.
Yeah, we got to take a quick break, Duke, or else we're going to be in big trouble
Okay.
here. Kevin Karius, Gary Meyer for the CCT Country Club Tour on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're back after the break.
What's that? Is that actually spring? Like no snow squalls or bad weather tomorrow? It's actually spring? Well, GS Construction welcomes the warmer weather because that means we can really get to work. Now, it doesn't matter if there was bad weather. This is our time to shine, but we can't do it without good people to do that work. That's why GS Construction is hiring pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. If you want to join a team who loves their work, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Your protein drink should work as hard as you do. That's why Booster Juice is hitting the gym harder than ever, brother. Meet your new gym buddies, the Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers. 2 new ripped and refreshing menu options that bench some serious protein. Perfect for pre or post workout. Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers taste like motivation. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Summit Restaurant. Located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common, Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Looking for a solid 4x4 that checks all the boxes? The 2026 Jeep Compass is in stock now at St. Albert Dodge, and this is a great value, starting from just $36,900. It's a Jeep, so you've got 4x4 capability, plus features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, active lane management, a Park View rear backup camera, and more. Over 30 in stock right now in just about every color you'd want. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit prosolutionsinc.ca to schedule your service today.
Everything is going to be okay. Any business, regardless of size, can stumble occasionally. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. If your business is facing financial challenges, our team of chartered insolvency and restructuring professionals have corporate debt recovery solutions that work. Schedule your free Faber focus session at faber.ca today. Chances of a positive outcome increase if you engage Faber sooner rather than later.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. Just a quick little goodbye here. But Nick Taylor is at 8 under par, still leading the way. He's tied with Cameron Young. Sudarshan Yalamarahu fell back a little bit, shot a 66 today, but he must have blown up down the stretch because he was at 9 under for the day. He's finished at 6 under for the day. Or no, he's at 4 under for the tournament, 6 under for the day.
Well, he couldn't fit his name on the scorecard.
Well, you could do about 2 hours with Mac T.
Easy.
And not
Easy.
even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
no
when
breaks.
And when you sit down and talk with him, I mean, the time just goes by. He's such an engaging guy, such an interesting guy, and such a kind heart and a great sense of humor.
Yeah. I mean,
so next week, we're going to bring in Greg Schubert from the beautiful Belvedere Golf and Country Club. Yep. You're talking about South Saskatoon. He was up by Prince Albert, your old stomping grounds.
Elk Ridge, right?
Yep. He was there last year, and they worked him almost to death. And he's now the head man over at the Belvedere Golf and Country Club. We'll get some stories from him. We might get a little bit more on Silent Ice's involvement there with Dan LeKelt.
Okay.
And because they've taken a role out there, kind of an ownership role. So we'll get some of the full stuff. So we're looking forward to having past president of the Canadian PGA, PGA of Canada, Greg Schubert.
That's good. That'll be next week. Golfing with the G-Man. Great show, Gary. It was great that Mac T came on.
Awesome.
A lot of fun. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next Friday.
You got it.
Too bad you couldn't come for lunch with us today. Duke's buying.
Gonna go see Sid Knipple.
Sid. Coming up at the top of the hour, it is Fantasy Frenzy with
the former Rochef T-Bird,
Connor Halley and the Duke of Delburne. At 12, it's the Lowdown with Alan Mitchell. 2 till 6, Jason Greger drives us home. Have we got Blue Jays baseball, Duke? Yes, joined in progress. Blue Jays baseball right here. Hey, 6, that's right, because it's Minnesota, different time. You got that right. Perfect. Blue Jays baseball tonight. Triple S tomorrow. And Hoop City, Josh Fenwick, in for both. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Hey, thanks everyone for listening this morning. Thanks for all the great texts. I thought the text line was really good considering the Oilers' dismissal and exit from the Stanley Cup playoffs in 6 games to the Ducks. We will see you back here on Monday. Hope you have a hell of a weekend. Until then, here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
Tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs, 3 games, all with potential elimination
consequences on the line. Tampa Bay is in Montreal against the Habs, trailing the Canadiens 3-2 in the best of 7. Puck drop just after 7 o'clock or 5 o'clock Mountain, at 5:30. The Sabres try to punch their ticket round number 2, and they take on the Bruins in Boston, up 3-2 in that series. And the Vegas Golden Knights with the 3-2 series lead head to Utah to take on the Mammoth. Puck drop there just after 8 o'clock. Finalists for this year's Jack Adams Trophy as the NHL's Coach of the Year have been announced. Tampa Bay's John Cooper, Pittsburgh's Dan Muse, and Buffalo, Lindy Ruff, your top 3 vote getters. U18 World Championship action this morning. Slovakia, the host nation, blanked Latvia in the semis to advance through the gold medal game. And coming up here at the top of the hour, the Czechs will take on Sweden. Association action tonight. Toronto Raptors try to keep their season alive, hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. Raptors 2-0 at home so far these playoffs, but trail the best of 7, 3-2. Tip-off at 5:30 from Scotiabank Arena. Elsewhere, Detroit trailing 3-2 in their series to Orlando. Go at it from 5 o'clock. And in the nightcap, 7:30 tip-off, the Lakers lead Houston 3-2. They'll play game number 6. In the majors today, full slate of games, including the Toronto Blue Jays continue their set in Minnesota against the Twins. First pitch scheduled for 6:10. It'll be Patrick Corbin on the bump for Toronto. Simeon Woods Richardson countering for the Twins. You can catch that game right here on Sports 1440. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is Fantasy Frenzy with Hallie and Douglas. I'm Brendan Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.